Hey, good evening, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. We've got a lot of stuff to go through tonight. Plenty of artists to talk to, pre-OAX stuff to look at. We're even launching the mystery sketch today. So sorry for the delay. We had a little technical difficulties here in the studio, and they were all my fault. But that's how it goes sometimes. But we're here. We are here at the end of the week, but we've got some fun stuff to go over. And I'm going to start things off with a friend of mine, Mr. Jim Food. Get him in here.
What's
Hey,
up,
Jim.
man? Hey, thanks, Bill, for having me. Appreciate
Hey,
it.
it's my pleasure, man. It's like typically when I have a guest on, we only have one thing to talk about, and tonight we have three things to talk about. But the most important of all three of those is the Kickstarter that you just launched.
Yes. Yeah. As of yesterday, October 1st, my brand new creator-owned comic book, The Arachnid Enforcer. This is a 48-page superhero parody comic book of a certain wall crawler type character, Bill. So I did one. I did one last year for a certain Cape Crusader, Savage Street Vigilante. And so basically I have this line of books called Defective Comics Presents. And that's my line of parody books I'm doing once a year. Every October, I'm going to do a book, and I'm just having a blast writing and drawing my own stuff, man. And West Coast Dave, what's up, buddy? And we had an incredibly strong launch day yesterday. I was very surprised and extremely excited by how well things are going.
Hey, the last book was so good, I think. And come on, you're riffing on on the wall crawler. There's got to be some excitement in that. The intro videos were, the video was fun. You even gave me a little clip that we could play here in a few minutes too. That I think all of that adds to the excitement, and of course, your art style just applies perfectly to the character, to the world, and I can see why people would be excited about it.
Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, I think for me, like when I'm left to my own devices, like when I just get to do whatever I want, I produce the best work that I can do. So even with freelance and stuff, like if I've been doing lots of covers lately for different publishers, and the more freedom the publishers give me, the better the covers come out. So there's times where editors have not asked for sketches and I don't do sketches, and I just turn in the finished cover, and I'm really able to deliver on a different level when I'm given that freedom. It is a risk because you're just kind of like, here's the cover. And the editors are like, oh, damn. Okay. But so far so good, man. I've gotten away with doing what I'm doing. Like no revisions, no, having to redraw things. So
exactly. So how do you handle editing yourself? When you're working on the book. I mean, do you ever look at something and like, damn, I got to redo that?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, I keep notebooks and I always lay everything out. And I have a couple friends that proofread for me and people that I bounce ideas off of. I live 15 minutes away from Scotty Young. So I have lunch with him once a week, and I consider Scotty to be like a really gifted storyteller. So when we're having lunch once a week, like I'm always bouncing ideas off of him, and I'll even bring in the original art from the book I'm working on, like a crazy guy. I'll bring it into the restaurant and just plop it on the table just to kind of freak him out. And he's like, what, these are the originals? There's like ketchup. What's going on over here? And then, but because I want the reaction of like him seeing what I'm actually doing on paper and the storytelling and the world, I mean, this is the audience to say this to, but you guys know what it means to see like the actual originals. Like this is what the world is that we're putting out there, literally. So it's just fun to like mess with him and bring in a stack of the actual book.
Now he did he do some work for the book at all?
Yeah, he did a variant cover for
That's
me,
what I thought. I
which
feel like
is
I saw something on his
incredible.
socials.
Yeah. So I have variant on this Kickstarter campaign. I have the 48-page one-shot book with a cover by myself. We have Mike Del Mundo, Wayshak, and Scotty Young all on variant covers. And we have Derek Loffman doing a limited edition print. Derek's amazing. He's the current artist of I Hate Fairyland, Scotty's creator-owned book at Image.
Mhm.
But getting the covers from Wayshak, Del Mundo, and Scotty is like the icing on the cake for me, man. That's what makes the project for me, because I get to hit up my friends and kind of art direct it and edit it, which is super fun. But it's also weird because I'm frantically emailing people and not to throw anyone under the bus, but like Scotty and Wayshak turned in their covers literally the day before.
Right. Well, but it was worth the wait, I'm sure.
Completely worth it, man. It's so flattering and so amazing to see these artists like interpret this weird stuff that I'm doing. So yeah, I'm really pleased where things are at with everything. And I think the fun of doing this stuff is being able to curate it that way and kind of make something super fun and add things like prints and original art, variant covers. We do a retailer bundle. So I'm doing wholesale signed copies to retailers. If they want to order 10 copies per box, I'm giving them 50% off basically, because I want retailers to get the book into their store when it prints up early here. So, that's important for me too, is to keep the retailer relationship.
Well, it's always cool, in most indie projects, tend to involve a lot of artists, or a lot of artists' friends. I mean, it just seems to be just a part of the scene and the way those projects kind of evolve. And
Yeah.
you've been at this for a very, very, very long time. So your Rolodex of people you have the opportunity to work with is rather large. So I mean, when you see the finished product, you think, I wish I could own that, or I want to own that, or I'm going to find a way to get that and keep it.
Yes. I mean, I'm definitely I'm trading Wayshak for his cover. Like as soon as I saw it, I hit him up and was like, can you just hold that for me? Like that has to be framed and hanging in my studio. I have some beautiful pieces from friends in my studio. And he said, sure. So Scotty, I'm working on Mike Del Mundo. I don't know if his is analog or digital. With his work, I sometimes can't even tell what he's doing because he's so gifted. And then Derek, I'm going to also try and trade with him. But yeah, that's part of the deal, is like a cover for a cover. If you do one for me, I do one for you. So I'm working with friends and we're doing this like we did DIY style when we were all like self-publishing mini comics and zines like 25 years ago. So you have to have friends that are on board for this stuff. Like, they have to know what's going on with oh, you're doing a Kickstarter. I know what that means. Let me help you out a little. Let me help you out a bit.
Where I did throw the link to the Kickstarter in the chat earlier. I'll do it again just so anybody who joined after I did that has a chance to go over there and check it all out. I mean, yeah, what a great start, right? You're over 55,000.
Yes.
In a day. That's not too bad.
Yeah, we doubled what we did on launch day last year with Savage Street Vigilante. We hit about 25,000 about before midnight last time, and then last night I was still texting with friends like Sean Crystal and stuff at like 10:30, 11 o'clock at night, waiting for it to click over to 50. So once we hit the 50 grand, I was like, I'm done. I'm going to bed. My work here is done, Bill. Like I've been on my computer and my phone literally all day, like monitoring and watching all this stuff. So, it's super fun. It's also, as everyone knows, like it's a lot to do a Kickstarter and coordinate it all.
Oh yeah, no, there's so much. Fortunately, I've only done a couple of them, but not just getting them set up to where you're happy. It has everything you want in it. as far as the optional stuff and everything. It's a lot of work, and you haven't even got to the fulfillment stage of this because that's
Right.
another beast in and of itself. But yeah, no, it's awesome. I was looking at all
Thanks, man.
the images you sent me earlier, and no, I mean it's got everything, stylistically what I want out of a book by you, and then I mean, riffing on a spider crawler or no, I'm sorry, the arachnid guy. It's just perfect, man. I mean, is this something that you've been? I mean, how long have you kind of worked on the project as far as like just thinking about what the book was going to be about, storyline? I mean, is that something that you started working on right after the prior Kickstarter, or was it something even before that?
Yeah, I mean, my idea was like, if I can do a Batman parody book and it's successful, the next one would be Spidey, just because those are my two favorite characters. And then this one is going so well, I'm already planning next October will be the Ninja Turtles one. It's called Pizza Ninja, and that will be my trilogy, man. That will be my Defective Comics trilogy. But basically, too, because I'm launching these and doing these in October, I'm a huge horror fan. So this book, as you can tell by the color palette, the black, white, gray with spot of orange in it, it is kind of a Halloween themed book. And it's basically a Arachnid Enforcer battling weird creatures and monsters. And he's like a muscle for hire. He's not really a hero yet. He and his little Muppet sidekick guy, Gangster Boogie, they take money from bad guys to mess up other bad guys. So he's kind of a selfish character. He's sort of basically he's Spidey if Spidey didn't learn the great power, great responsibility lesson. So in the course of the book, you kind of find out like, is this character actually going to become a good guy? Like, is he going to learn to be a hero and give something back? So that there is the Street Vigilante book was very, very violent and brutal, and this one is a bit lighter, a bit more fun and comedic, and it's riffing on my love of like the Ditko Lee Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man comic books.
Well, there was always something visceral about those books, right? Everything was kind of grounded in reality. And I think that's why Spidey is such a popular character then and continues on to today, right? Those early ones. I mean, when you think about Mephisto and Electro and Doc Ock, the Lizard, they're all like things that have a kind of a horror bent that would really put you in a state of like panic or something if you ever to run into those characters. And again, that's why they worked so well back then, and they still work well today. So a horror bent to the book is perfect, and it's a spider, for crying out loud. At the end of the day,
right?
Nobody
I know
likes spiders that I know.
It's funny, man, because as a kid, I grew up buying the Marvel Tales comics from the grocery store that reprinted the Ditko and Lee run. And I didn't know that those are reprints when I was a little kid, but looking at the Ditko art made this huge impression of me where I thought these comics are so much weirder than the Spider-Man cartoon that's on Saturday mornings. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? It's like, this is so odd. And as a kid, I didn't have the vocabulary to know the Ditko art style and like his aesthetic and just the oddness and bizarreness of his work and his creations and the character designs. It was just me putting this in my brain as a kid being like, Spider-Man's awesome, but he's also like an odd character. This is an odd thing. This guy in this mask crawling around on walls. Like, what is this? So that made a huge impression on me when I was a little kid, man, with my fandom,
No, that's I get you. I mean, there's a lot when you're reading those books. I mean, I was reading them in the late 70s, and you're coming into them 10, 15 years after some of these characters are established. It's an adjustment period. It's not like you can go back and really understand what they're all about. But yeah, that's part of the fun, though, I think. And so you're tackling a character that everybody kind of has preconceived ideas about, and nothing about the the outline you gave me about what the book's about is anything that I would have been expecting.
Good.
So
Okay,
honestly, I mean,
cool.
so that's perfect. I mean, so I go into it not having, everything that I'd like to think it's going to be about, it won't be. I love
Yes.
that.
Yeah. Okay, good. That my plan is working then. Um and this on screen right now is my standard cover that we're looking at.
Hmm.
And if you scroll down just a little, there we go. There's that gorgeous Mike Del Mundo cover. Just absolutely ridiculous, man. Like it's he has a pumpkin full of the evil monsters that he's defeated and beheaded. It's just mind blowing, man. It's so good.
Yeah, that's incredible. I don't care if it's traditional or non-traditional. It's still one hell of
Oh
a
yeah,
image,
yeah,
man.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It really wild. Del Mundo is a really good guy, and very professional. He sent this in to me like 3 weeks ago. He was way ahead of schedule. Jonathan Wayshak, what can you say? This is absolutely mind-bending imagery that he's producing. Everyone here knows his work. Like I don't know. I've known John for a long time. I mean, I was running into him. Jason Sean Alexander and I were running into him at shows in California for years. And we were like, this guy's a genius. Why don't people know his work? And now the last 2, 3 years, I feel like people are really catching on to the brilliance of Wayshak. Like no one can draw like him, you know?
No, not at all. I mean, he's been on CAF for a while, and he didn't post regularly, but every time something came up there, I was like, damn, this guy is good, man. When and the thing is, you're right. The last couple of years, he does some of those card art projects and a few other indie related projects, and the next thing you know, he's on everybody's radar, every collector's radar. And and it's not just because of OAX or whatnot. It's because, I mean, he's damn good. He is one of
Yes.
the
Yes.
best illustrators out there today.
Yeah. Just amazing, man. You can imagine how I feel when I'm getting these images sent to me. Like
Oh, heck yeah.
you just open an email in the morning and you've got this Wayshak cover waiting for you for your book, for the book,
Hmm.
the crazy stuff that I created. Scotty Young, just absolutely love this one. So quirky and weird. And I said this to I think this is very Dr. Seussian, very Tim Burton esque, Nightmare Before Christmas kind of stuff, with the super elongated anatomy. It's creepy in all the right ways. It's great.
I assume there's a tier here to get all of the variants.
Yes.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Yeah, there should be. I would assume a lot of crossover interest. I think, with the artists, and if I would have to believe a lot of people would want to have all cover
Yeah.
alternatives. Yeah.
Definitely. We're doing we have a couple different bundles, and we have one where you can get all the covers and the PDF of the book. And I did a 5-piece print set. If you don't mind scrolling down just a little
Oh yeah.
bit, there we go. This comes together as 5 pieces. They're 11 by 14 inches, but I did this last year with Street Vigilante, and it's just fun to these are characters from the world, and simply colored by me in Procreate with that basically Halloween color palette with the black, orange, yellow, and gray. And then if you scroll a little bit, Bill, you can see the individual pieces a little bit better.
Oh yeah.
There we go. Yeah. But yeah, this is just fun, super fun stuff to draw. These are all pieces I drew straight in ballpoint ink in my Moleskine sketchbook in the mornings. So I do these morning exercises in my sketchbook, and I'm looking at photo reference for all of these for the pose. And then I'm not penciling these out. I'm just drawing these straight in ink. And
in a sketchbook, no less.
yeah, but it's a high quality sketchbook. It's like
Yeah,
that
no, no.
real nice.
Well, we're art collectors, We're
Yeah.
thinking, wait a minute, they're going in a sketchbook. That means I can't buy the original art.
Yeah. Well, it's funny, man, because I actually take the sketchbooks apart.
Oh, you do?
Like,
Okay.
I carefully take them apart and scan all the pieces, and then I publish them as these art books, the Ballpoint Slayer. So these art books are part of the Kickstarter campaign. You can also get them off my website, but these collect all the ballpoint drawings from the sketchbook.
Oh, wow.
And also, guys, you get a custom ballpoint drawing in this box here. So someone has hit me up. I'm going to New York Comic Con next week, and he requested a crow piece on the back cover there. So yeah, man, I monetize even the sketchbook stuff I'm doing in the morning. But I do it for me, and no one sees it. So if I mess something up, no one will ever see that. But the stuff that I like, I scan and I turn it into art books.
Well, I mean, I'd be upset if you didn't.
Thank you for saying that.
That's but here now, what's the inspiration of this? Is this something, an add-on for the project? I think.
Yes. So I drew this on one of the Ink Pulp live shows. We had a Muppet themed show, and I liked it so much. We were joking around that Animal is actually the cousin of this character, Gangster Boogie, who's in the Arachnid book. So that gave me the right to turn this into the Funky Drummer. And I passed it on to Mike Spicer, the Brilliant Spicer, for coloring. And we're doing it as a print exclusively through the Kickstarter. So it's an excuse to sell it here. And anytime I get to work with Mike Spicer coloring my work, you can't go wrong.
No, I just saw him a couple weekends ago at a show in Florida.
Oh, nice. Yeah, he's a Florida guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. These are all sold out. I had just 8 copies of this. The Spider-Verse print I did with the brilliant Sanford Green. This was released at by Mondo at San Diego this summer as a limited edition. So I signed and remarked 8 of these, and they sold in like the first couple hours of the campaign. So I wish I had more, but congrats to the people who snagged them.
Yeah, I didn't even get a chance to check out the Kickstarter until today. So that's great though. I mean, the fans are waiting, right? I mean, that's the thing. You've got you got a great audience through all the socials and the Ink Pulp out there that people are just waiting, and it's great.
Yeah.
I mean, this cover is awesome too. But yeah, now there's some art available as well, I believe. Yes,
if you scroll, I mean, if you have it separately, but you can also scroll, Bill, and it is on the page as well. These actually, the black and white ink drawings from the print set, these all sold. So these are sold out. And then at the bottom, I have as add-ons. So these are the books you can get from me: Girl Scout Trades, my Heavy Metal magazine cover, Shitty Dark Knight, Iron Man print that Mike Spicer colored. That was a cover for Iron Man issue 10 that came out a couple months ago. Spicer, man, again, just incredible. So here's some of the add-on originals. I've got smaller pieces. I've got 11 by 17 stuff. The Love and Rockets. I have like the Masters of the Universe one here, the He-Man. Some of these have already sold. But yeah, I actually sold 11 pieces of original art yesterday, man. I was kind of surprised. I was like, oh, this is going way better than I thought it would. So if you want to buy an original, like, I would say buy them now before all this stuff goes. And then, I'll be in New York next week, Artist Alley table A26, and I'll have originals with me as well at the show. But this stuff's hot, you guys. It's selling. You gotta make moves.
Don't sit on it, everybody, because it won't last. but you know, Ninja Turtles the next time around would be really great. I mean, too. I mean, it's just like the characters, you know, there are wonderful. But yeah, I mean, the
Yeah.
stuff you got here is just fantastic. My
Thanks, man. I tried to load up the Kickstarter with as much just visual candy as you possibly could. And even if people can only buy the $10 PDF or whatever, I just want Kickstarter is cool because it gives you this format, this outlet to really let the world see what you're doing currently, you know, and Kickstarter's been really good about hyping and promoting my campaign. They gave me the Project We Love badge yesterday. And if you go to Kickstarter's homepage and click comics, my Kickstarter thumbnail has been on the main page the last 2 days with the Spider-Man comic strip collection they're offering,
right.
and the Matt Wagner, Kelly Jones, Dracula 3 book. So Arachnid Enforcer they've been like highlighting me. They've been helping me out. So it's cool. No complaints.
Hey, right, exactly. You're in good company when
Yeah.
when you're hanging out on Kickstarter's comics page with all those you know, projects. Holy crap! So I mean, well, timing's good too. I mean, at the end of the day, I'd have to think one Kickstarter helps fuel another. You know, when somebody's there and they're tooling around on Kickstarter just to see what else might be there. I mean, yeah, I'm sure you're all kind of, you know, helping each other in different ways by being active at the same time.
That's definitely part of it, is, you know, everybody resharing everybody's campaign while they're going on.
Exactly. Alberto's saying that you're selling so much art you don't even need to do your pre-OAX commissions anymore. Thanks, Alberto. Yeah. Hey, it is what it is. But Corey says we should do an art sale show sometime. Hey, you know, if you're ever up for it, Jim, you know that. But you're going to be at OAX, so at the end of the day, you know, we'll be able to see a lot of your originals there. That
definitely
the pieces that don't sell at New York Comic Con, and you know.
I have lots of art, guys. I have 28 years of stuff that I've produced. So I like to always sell and have like the most current stuff, but I also have some archive stuff. And one of the things that surprises me, man, is people actually want prelims now, and they want other stuff that like 5-6 years ago, most artists would just throw in a junk drawer or throw away. But I mean, I keep mostly everything I do, all my prelims, all my sketches. So I have stuff like that too, that I think I'd like to experiment and bring some of that stuff to OAX and just see what happens. You know,
I would encourage it. And so many people today can't afford, you know, like the bigger pieces, but a prelim, hey man, I mean, that's the next best thing in a lot of ways. And we talk about it here on the channel all the time. I mean, people love, collectors love process, and the prelims are all about that. So I think that there's something fun about those, even if they don't end up becoming, you know, a published piece later on. It's just the ideas from a creator that they have an appreciation for. And I'd totally do that. I mean, you should have one, you know, one or two portfolios, or you know, just give everybody something to just kind of sift through. I think that would, you know, that'd be totally cool.
Yeah, that's okay. I like having options. That keeps it fun and exciting for the artists as well, you know.
All right, got to experiment.
Yeah, so definitely.
So okay, I put the link to the Kickstarter in there one more time, so everybody knows how to find it. And you know, congrats on how that's going so far. But we are up against it, and we have some stuff we got to do here, man. I hate to say, I don't.
All good.
Hate to keep pushing this thing, but you are coming to OAX, and and this isn't your first time. You were there in year one, and you know, we didn't get to talk too much in year one. That was a hectic year, but you know, year three, we've got a lot of things figured out.
You guys were so busy with year one, but year one was awesome, man. I had a blast. It was great. I'm excited to get back there next year, and we're starting in Orlando after OAX on a little signing tour. Matteo Scalera, Sean Crystal, and Jazzy Jamie Wood, as you know, is coming in from Scotland to film. So we're turning OAX into like the starting point of a little mini East Coast signing tour with comic shops. So we've never really done that before. So I'm really excited about everything going on early next year. It's going to be great.
That's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
Just getting everybody together, that, not being on screen, and Jamie is awesome. He really is.
Yes. Yeah.
We've
had a blast working with him, and man, and before I bounce, like, thank you and Kasra so much for the continued help and support. Thank you for helping me hype the Kickstarter, and everyone watching who has already supported the Kickstarter. Thank you so much. Every person makes a difference. So it's been a really good launch week, man. I'm in a really good spot with it. I feel great.
Well, so clearly you've earned it. Put a lot of work into it. You wrangled some amazing artists to work with you as well on the variants. And hell, I mean, it's this is only, a little over 24 hours in. So who knows where you're going to end up at.
Yeah.
But before you go, why don't we show off what the pre-OAX options are, so everybody knows. I did not make a slide for the sketch cards, but I know you'll send me some examples and we'll get those in there. But I can throw a link in the chat for everyone so they can take a look at your pre-OAX options up on the website. And if you got any questions, of course, you can probably email. Well, you can email me or you can email Jim directly. But here, I'll show you what the opportunities are, excluding the sketch cards. But starting off, you have a 9x12 option, all black and white, and crammed with detail at $700. And I mean, everybody who's familiar with your work knows how much the energy, the kind of street styling, I think, that your artwork has. So I mean, they know what to expect, when they're going to get a commission from you.
There's even some hand cut Zipatone in this, you guys. So I've still got plenty of deleter sheets left in my studio. So
awesome. And so that you have a black and white, and then you have a color 9x12 as well. So you're doing it 850. And again, I put mixed media on here because I know that you don't limit yourself to pen and ink or any one type of paint. And like you said, you had Zipatone, so you're doing a lot of experimental stuff for whatever the piece needs. You add it
completely. Yeah, this, like, whatever's on my table at the time. This one even has like colored pencil in it and watercolor. Yeah. Whatever whatever is an arm's length, man, that works for the piece, you just grab it and go for it.
Sure. No, I appreciate that. Definitely. And then so those were the 9x12 options. And then you had a couple 11x17s as well. Similar, black and white version at 1350, and then a color version as well. But, when you're working with if somebody gives you an idea for, if someone's going to ask you for Cyclops, like I would do, since Cyclops is a favorite character. I mean, do you ask any questions? Or do you just basically say, I know what I want with that character? Or do you ever have to maybe pick the brain of a commissioner to get some direction before you start?
I mean, if I'm left to my own devices, I usually have the most fun. But with Cyclops, like, I would ask, well, what era of Cyclops? Like, what's your favorite costume? Are we 90s Jim Lee? Like, that's a specific thing for Cyclops. But like with this one, for example, original Alien movie, for me, I was just able to cut loose and do something scary, crazy, psychedelic, throw in the skull in there. And the customer was very happy with this. So, but yeah, with superheroes, that's my one thing, is kind of like, well, which outfit do you want? Like, which costume?
Right. You get asked, for a Wolverine, is it yellow? Is it brown? Is it, is he wearing his jacket? Stogie, no stogie, beer? What do you want him holding?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I get it. And then, so this is your color option too. So that, again, just great stuff here, man.
Thank you. Yeah, this was done. I like to work on this kind of tannish ivory toned paper for some of my color commissions. I did that on the Tetsuo one as well, the smaller one. And I can put the black ink, looks great on top of that with the color. And then you pop in that white, you go in with white paint, and the little areas of white in these pieces really sing, so it's just kind of a unique look. It's a cool look. And then, I got the Zipatone in there as well, and some ink spatter and Dark Knight Returns, guys. Come on. What do you want?
Exactly.
it's all there. Hopefully.
Well, there's the so the forum's active on the OAX website. I saw 3 commissions come in already, so it's a start. It's not like
Awesome.
Kickstarter avalanche, but but we gotta start somewhere, man. So
Yes.
we'll be doing a mailing tomorrow to promote all the new opportunities that have come out, yours as well. So that'll probably go out tomorrow. But Jim, I mean, congrats on the Kickstarter. And I have to
Thank
add
you.
one thing, although I'm not going to dive into it, everybody. I did turn on the mystery sketch for the Comic Art Live 12 event in November before the show started, because it's just a little bit too much work for me to do it while I'm streaming. But Jim is going to be a part of mystery sketch this time around. I think
Yes.
that's cool. It's fun. We always like adding in new artists, and I think even right now we've got we have quite a few artists in there. But for those of you not familiar with mystery sketch and how that works, and I'll be talking more about that later, but it's just fun because you get to say what character you want, but you don't know which creator is going to get the task. And we have 9x12
Right.
options and sketch cards, so it's a fun thing, man. We unbox the artwork afterwards, and people who they get to find out in those unboxings a lot of time, like who they got and what the piece is, and it's just a fun event that basically spans like 6 weeks, is in the lead up to actually getting to see the artwork and everything. So I appreciate you doing that with us.
Yes. Yeah, my pleasure. It's exciting to do new things, and I think you have to do new things. You have to keep things fresh, and you got to try new stuff with all of this. It's also fun, man. It's like all this stuff should be fun.
I agree. If it's not fun, man, it ain't worth doing, as far as I'm concerned.
That's how I feel. Yeah.
Yep. All right, man. Well, listen, I see Bart Sears in the green room. He is
oh, hell yeah,
ready and raring to go. Yeah.
Love your work, dude. Bill, thank you again. Really appreciate it. Kasra, thank you. And I will see you guys very soon.
Hey, Jim. I figured Bart should hear it from you, that you love his
Jim.
work.
Bart, what's up, man? Love your work.
And your Kickstarter is doing great. That's awesome, dude.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks so much.
That's great, man. Kickstarter.
You guys, yeah, it so far so good, and we'll see where things end up in 29 days. So awesome. But man, I'm gonna go so you guys can talk. Great seeing you gentlemen tonight.
And we'll keep promoting the Kickstarter for you too.
Awesome. Yes, for sure, Bart. Definitely.
All right, man. Take care, Jim.
Take care, guys.
See you, Jim.
See you.
Hey, Bart. Long time no see, man.
I know. It feels like it's been forever.
It does feel that way. And I always feel like your camera moves around in your studio. It seems like every time we talk, I feel like it's moved to a different spot. At some point, I feel like I will know exactly the full, the ins and outs of every cubby hole in your studio.
You can create a 3D model of it for me.
Oh man. So what's new? You've been, I think, gosh, it has been a while since we talked, but we're really thrilled to have you back to OAX. You know that. I mean, I think right after the show,
last year.
I'm glad. I mean, it was
cold.
It is not going to be like that again. that was the coldest it's been in Florida probably in like 20 years.
It was nuts.
It was awful. I know we went from 80 plus degrees in year one to it was like 50, but with 20-mile-an-hour winds, it felt like, I mean, literally like it should snow. It was that bad.
That would have been cool though.
Yeah, that would have not on OAX weekend, but it couldn't have gotten any worse. But I'm glad you had a good show. I mean, I know that I think we did a lot of pre-OAX before that, and every time I walked by your table, you seem busy drawing. So I'm glad.
Yeah, it was a great show. I love that show. What an awesome idea.
Yeah, we it is a fun project to work on, but this year we have the whole space too. I mean, before like last year we had to cordon off areas for the auction and and the reception and things, and they've added a pavilion in the back, and so we've got a lot of options for our space now. So we're actually expanding things too. Hopefully, probably keeping the ratio, of the number of artists about the same as we had last year, but spreading things out a little bit more, and we'll probably have a few more exhibitors than we had last year, as well. Yeah. But Um, and I should let everybody know because we're actually going to be doing a show not too far in the future, right? In November, we
Yeah.
will have an art drop. I think right before.
Yep.
Well, it's the Wednesday after Comic Art Live that we were just talking about. So I've been we haven't really talked too much about it, but have you given any thought to the artwork and the thing that you were going to bring to the show as well?
I think for the art drop, it'll be mostly indie stuff, full page interiors from a bunch of indie stuff I did, a few covers, and hopefully a few original new pieces as well.
Okay.
If I can get them done in time.
Well, yeah. What is it? It's the 22nd of November, I think, is the date. Yeah, I'm looking at
Like
the calendar.
tomorrow to my brain.
Is it the 22nd? No, not. No, it's the 19th. I'm sorry. See, there you go. The 19th of November. So it's the Wednesday after Comic Art Live. We'll be doing that art drop with you. So yeah, you still have time.
Yeah, a little bit.
So what project based stuff are you working on right now?
We just started. We signed with Panic Comics to do a new Maiden story. So we just sent in our first draft of the story for that. So we got to get cruising on that. And what else am I working on? Working on new Cops toy stuff and package art for Big Bad Toys, just bringing Cops back. And what else I got? I'm working on finishing off DPH3, which is, of course, going slower than I expected, but that's getting there. That's got to get printed, hopefully, soon. And working on some stuff for Conan. And I got a little Exo story coming up, a little 8-pager in Exo Black and Gold or something.
Well, that's nice.
And
the Valiant fan, you're gonna make some collectors happy when that art becomes available.
Yeah, hope so. And I don't know, a bunch of projects boiling in various stages, which I can't really think of at the moment, and I don't see anything that's triggering my memory. So, but a bunch of stuff with Dave Hedgecock.
Oh, really?
For what the heck is this called? Fun Time Go. A book called no, I can't think of it. I'm so bad with names. This is horrible.
Let's call Michelle.
Yeah, she went to bed, so she's no help.
Oh, she's done for the night.
Yeah, she's like, I'm out.
We're not keeping you up, are we?
No, I'm usually good for another hour. It is Sugar Bomb.
Sugar Bomb.
Yeah, I'll actually have. I'm doing just pencils on that book, finished pencils that Drew Hennessy is inking digitally. So I'll have some of those penciled pages, a bunch of covers for that one. And yeah, I know a bunch of stuff.
Awesome. Well, when you come to OAX, we always like to promote new things that you haven't shown anywhere else. So timing might be right for some of this stuff to have you on. And we always like to get a big list so we can let everybody know why they need to go to your table first, Bart.
We will put that list together. You bet.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Corin says, would love to see you work some more on Turok.
I don't even know if anybody has that license anymore. Do they?
I don't know. No.
I think Dynamite gave it up, didn't they? Or let it run out or whatever they do when it ends.
Right. Yeah. I don't know who has it now. I mean, they had it for a while, but hey, why don't we announce your OAX stuff? I mean, I know that, you got to do some sketch cards at OAX, and then you followed up and did a few more. Now, I reached out and asked you if you would do sketch cards on OAX stock as well, and you agreed to, which is awesome. We're going to be getting them printed soon, so we'll get them in the mail to you. I hope you'll have them within 3 weeks. Let's say before the end of this month, if not much sooner. So let's see here. We have a couple slides to show off. Cool. And these. So you have two sketch card options. You're going to do just a straight headshot at $50 on the OAX stock sketch card, or a little bit of Copic grayscale for $70. And I know that we had a whole set from you when we did an art drop in the I guess early spring or something, and we got to see a bunch of those. So they came out great. I mean, I really liked them, and clearly they're fun.
They're a lot of fun. I like doing them, themed like that, like a group of certain characters or whatever. It's always fun.
There, and I got the link for your sign up in the chat as well for everybody,
Awesome.
so they can see this
Thank you.
opportunity. Yeah. Now, I think probably familiar with some of the other ones we had. We had after the sketch card tier, you had those 5x8s,
Yep.
headshots as well. So a base price of $100 for those, and Exo, Turok, and Conan adds 25 to the final price. And I set the commission form up to have those as two separate options to make it real easy based on what character people want to get.
Cool.
And let's see, after the 5x8, you've got 8x10s. Those are at $350, so more of a torso piece. I think you did quite a few of these at OAX last year.
Yeah, they're generally my go-to show commission.
And again, the Exo, Turok, and Conan have a premium, extra $200 on those. Yep. But I assume you probably get asked to do those most of the time.
A lot, and they always take longer. They have so much, usually extra stuff on them. And, Exo's armor and stuff, it just takes a while. Therefore, a little more pricey.
Yeah. No, I don't blame you. So then, let's see what else we got. Oh, that's right. One more. We have the full figure inked 11x17. It looks like he's sometimes throw in some background. Sometimes it's really kind of your discretion on that.
Yeah. Usually I don't do specific backgrounds. I do something that strikes me for the design of the piece. But I'm pretty easy.
West Coast Dave has always admired your work.
Thank you, West Coast Dave.
Yeah, he took you around. Didn't he take you to Albert's booth during OAX last year?
I think so.
Yeah, that was
see my old Turok cover.
How did that feel?
It was weird, let me tell you. I probably haven't seen it since a couple months after I drew it, so it was wild seeing it again. 30 years later, 32 years later, whatever it was. It's crazy.
And what do you think of the work from back then? I mean, when you kind of compare it to the work you're doing now, I mean, do you feel like you're at the top of your game at that moment, or are you at the top of your game right now?
Right now, baby.
Yeah, that's what I figured you would say.
Top of the game. Back then, I had a lot more energy and a lot more hours to put into stuff, but I also didn't really know what I was doing half the time. Now I kind of know what I'm doing, and I work a little smarter, I think. But we can hope. Smart is usually something I strive for and fail miserably. So.
No, man, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, that's part of the I would have to think part of the fun is getting some things wrong every once in a while. I mean, but when you were working, like you said, like 30 years ago, you didn't have the same rules imposed on you that all that experience has now done, for the work you put into it. So I don't know, man. I remember when you had those Turok pages that we sold on a show, probably like the first show we did. It was just cool getting to see that work. It did have an interesting energy. The compositions were not like what I was expecting, and I don't know. I mean, I think that's kind of like if you didn't evolve or change or whatever, it'd be kind of weird. But yeah, that Turok era though, I think is probably a lot of guys and gals like sweet spot with some of the work that they want to collect from you.
Yeah, especially the Valiant stuff. Those, I mean, their fans were just and still are so rabid in a good way. They just loved that stuff, and anything from that era is just golden. There wasn't a lot of it really, so I think at their height they were doing 10 books a month or something, if that. So they didn't last forever. So it's a limited amount of stuff out there.
Yeah, we have like 5 or 6 rabid Valiant fans that regularly collect, or anytime something pops up on one of our sales shows, or if it pops up on CAF, I'm sure there's a mad dash to figure out who's going to get it first. But as collectors, that's always fun. There's like groups of Legion art collectors too. Same thing. Oh, yeah. Whenever I see something pop up on the market, I know it's going to end up in like these 4 or 5 collectors CAF galleries, because it's just they're the ones who get it all. And the same thing with the Valiant, right? And they know who they are.
Yep.
Yeah, like Southern Comic Geek, Jason, he's a huge Valiant fan, but he's got to compete with Carl Choi and Dinesh and whoever else is out there that really wants to kind of like, get choice pieces from that era.
Yeah, it's great though. It is really fun. That's the fun thing about OAX too is, I mean, it's really all just guys that just love comic art. It's kind of cool.
It is it's an experience. A lot of times, New York Comic Con's coming up and CAF is doing kind of a get together there, but it's not quite the same, right? You might have like 15, 20, 25 people that might show up and and hang out after a show or something. But when you get like 500, 600 art collectors in a room or in a space,
Yeah.
and it's just totally different. And OAX is it's fun. It's definitely fun.
If anybody watching or listening hasn't been, I definitely suggest you go. It's a different kind of show and it's really cool. It's so much fun and really laid back too.
It definitely is. Yeah, we even changed the domain name. It used to be that oa-expo.com and now it's oax.art. So it's really, really easy.
Really specific.
You just need to know 6 letters and you're in. OAX and art. And so yeah, that's I can't forget it. I sometimes would mess up when I was sending emails around because of the hyphen. I was always forgetting to leave it out. But yeah, this way, nope, cannot do that. Yeah, but listen, Bart. I mean, as we so we have the show in a month and a half. So I know we'll be talking in the lead up to that, and certainly as I get some of the artwork in, I always like to tease the audience and stuff with it. So as we have any images to show people, feel free to pass them along to me. And then
I think we're going to put it together this weekend. What we're going to send, so you have plenty of time for promo and all that good stuff.
That's perfect.
Most pieces. Yeah,
and then if you need anything in the lead up, you just let me know. I know Tatiana's been in touch with Michelle, getting some of the details ironed out and everything. But yeah, we're excited to have you back. It's going to be fun. Hopefully, I'll get to spend a little bit more time with you this time.
You'll be busy. I know what you're like.
I'm trying to feel like one of these days, I won't. I'll be able to just like hang out and have a beer and enjoy. Well, we'll see. We'll see. Maybe it won't. But either way, Bart, again, I'm really happy you and Michelle are coming back. I really
thanks. I really appreciate you having us, man. Looking forward to it.
All right. Well, I'll be in touch. And thanks, man.
All right. Thanks, Bill. Thanks, everybody.
Right. See you, Bart.
Bye-bye.
All right. Yeah, I love Bart. Yeah, and again, I saw some commissions come in for Bart as well. Awesome. Thank you, everybody. And I see Mr. Dragunis, who is a big fan of Bart Sears, is in the green room. There you go. Hey, Joe. Man, this is the first time for you, right? You have not been on the channel before.
I've never been on here. It was funny because I clicked the link that you sent, and then everything went haywire. It's like, you do not have permission to access this. You do not have the right browser. And I was like, shit. So like for like 2 minutes, I was typing and downloaded everything I need to download.
Oh man, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. It's my fault.
Well, if I would have had you on sometime in the past, we wouldn't have had all these problems, because then your computer would have been set, ready to go, right browser, right permissions to play the webcam and all that kind of stuff.
Permissions to upload everything into all the databases, and we're good.
Oh man. So I don't know.
Speaking of Bart, you said he was coming on. I have a few pieces from Bart, but this is the one that I wanted to show.
Oh man, look at that.
Well, this is back from when he was the very first time he was doing Ominous Press. And back when he was doing the Brute and Babe comic. And there's a guy, I forget his name, but he owns like 95% of those, the ones that Bart doesn't have himself. And there was 2 of them that I actually found on Comic Art Fans. This is maybe 10 years ago. And I emailed the guy right away. I was like, anything you want. Because that, like, I grew up reading Creepy and Eerie and Vampirella until I was about 15. I didn't read like comics, And then that issue, it came with a Wizard magazine, was the very first like superhero comic I ever read. So it was really cool to get something you know, from that you know, first comic. It's one of my only nostalgia buys, and it's also great because it's Bart.
Of course. I mean, his line work is unmistakable, right? It doesn't matter what the character, who the characters are that he's drawing. There's just a quality to his line work that immediately you know it's him, right? I mean, I don't know. It's slick. But it's fine line work, you know. And I mean, he's an amazing illustrator.
He's an amazing illustrator. He's up there. There's a few guys that I call not fair artists, because this is not fair to the rest of us. Like, we're also trying here. Come on. And
yeah, when it was a loaded question when I asked him, I mean, do you think you were doing your best work back with Turok or now? And of course he said now. So
that's right. Yeah.
I didn't expect anything different, but I had to ask, because I know so many, you know, as art collectors, we, you know, there's that nostalgia is such a big part of collecting art. And I think a lot of collectors, you know, remember that era, right? Turok and Exo and
Exo. Yeah. Those Exo ones were, it was just, they were so alive and vibrant. Like, and part of that's because of the character design, because Turok, you get to have a lot of foliage, and then with Exo, you get to have like this Venom type suit.
Exactly.
You know, so there's a lot of excuses to go wild.
I gotta ask, is that's not a real skull behind you, though, right?
Oh, which one?
The one on the right.
No, and
it has the right
and
patina.
No, and maybe.
I know. Well, you know, we actually lived pretty close together for a long time, and I've never been over there. So.
Next time you're back up in Ohio, I'd love to have you here, because now I live in Madison, which is closer to where you were.
That's true.
And
you got to swing by. You came by my place once, but one of the rare times that, did we even get a photograph of that? Maybe we did. That was with Jeff and I can't remember the name of the other collector.
Jeff and Rob. Rob came down.
That's right.
It's funny though, because even with Jeff and Rob, I'm the only one maybe on this show that's ever been to both your houses.
Rob had some pretty cool artwork. Yeah, I was impressed.
Rob is I've been a Comic Art Fans, the site, like preacher for as long as I've been on there. And Rob is a guy that I keep trying to get on the site, because he has such a huge collection, but he doesn't want anybody bugging him to give it up. You know what I mean? Because it's all his, and he doesn't want to share any of it.
Some people see, you know, that as an intrusion, and I get it. You know, I do, but it does suck when you can't see the scans, right? I mean, I guess that's what artist editions and stuff are good for. But yeah, I mean, and he's in that era of. You know, for me, like you know, because I know he loves, you know, mid to late 70s,
and
little
and
early
Byrne
80s,
especially,
and Byrne, John Romita Jr.
I
remember I showed him a page from Iron Man that I had, and he's like, "Oh, I got a better one." He shows me a DPS.
He's like, not only do I have a better one, but I have all the other pages in that issue.
Yeah, it felt it was a little fun and awkward all at the same time. But again, that's what we love about the hobby, right? I mean, true.
Well, everything, it's just like hunting for records almost. Like it's fun to see, especially if it's an issue you like, who has what and where it is. And I was just you know, Gary Gianni, I was just up at his house yesterday. That's actually why I missed the one email, because I was at Gary's house. And he has all the issues he's done are like The Shadow, Prince Valiant, and like Monster Men, Hellboy. He has between 98 to 100% of all the issues of like all the artwork. Only little bits have come out here and there. So him and I there's this one Shadow comic, and he's like, I sold 10 pages and I just don't know where they are, because he I was trying to get him to do an artist edition of that.
Right.
But
he didn't keep records of who he sold the pieces to.
Well, the Shadow he did in 94.
Oh well, shoot, yeah, you're not.
You know,
no way. And if it's not on CAF, I mean, chances are you're not going to find it. So
exactly, yeah. At minimum, it's 30 years old by the time it left the portfolio. So, but like you said, that's half the fun. Is the hunt.
Exactly. Well, you've been to the first two OAXs as well,
yes.
So you've got a good idea what the show's about. I mean, I would imagine outside of lugging art around for
For Albert.
for Albert, yes, that you have a good time when you're there, right? I mean, it's
I love that show. It was all throughout because I am done with shows for the rest of the year. Heroes was my last show, but I did maybe 12 before Heroes. And all of my artist friends, I tell them, and collectors, I say, OAX was the show of the year. I said for the past couple of years, it beat New York, it beat San Diego, it beat C2E2. I mean, that was hands down not only the most fun, but also like financially, that was the show
profitable.
of the year.
Right. I mean, that's core to what we want to hear have happen, right? We want collectors walking away with a lot of art, but we want the artists to do well too. It shouldn't just be a good experience and have a good time, but you got to, it's commerce too. And I feel like by and large, we're delivering, and that's wonderful to hear that, Joe.
Well, and like you said, profitable, but also I walked away with some artwork too. I bought one of the little Cerebus panels. Corey just said Joe took my money. Corey was he was awesome. His whole family came there, and he walked away with a couple of pieces that Albert had. But I'm trying, like I said, that's one of the reasons why I took off shows for the rest of this year, is because I'm just trying to pad the portfolio with everything I can for February.
Well, I love to hear that, and I know the collectors love to hear that too. And I mean, that's what we want. We want, in the lead up to the show, we want to promote that you're bringing new artwork that nobody else has seen, and teasing that, and kind of definitely just giving people incentive to stop by your table, because the show's getting is getting big enough where I talk to some of the collectors and they're like, man, I didn't get to every table or every exhibitor booth. And part of it's the social side of it, because you're running into people maybe you haven't seen in a while, but there is a lot there, a lot to see. And if you don't have a game plan, you could miss out. Now, I mean, Corey clearly had a game plan when he went to the show. I think he did pretty well, and he even brought me a case of bourbon. So Corey and I are good friends. Yes.
No, but you're right, because like if you go to just speaking of Albert, you go to Albert's table, and if you want to flip through all the binders, I mean, you're there for like 3 hours before you leave that one table, and that's doing it quick. That's without looking at anything twice,
Yeah, it's almost unfair, but it is, but it is what it is, right? I mean, that's
time is the enemy.
We have a preview night though this year. I mean, from 4 to 6 on Fridays, so anybody who's VIP gets to see the art first. That was one of the things everybody was always suggesting, gently, that hey, what other value added things can you add into the VIP, right? And so that was the thing that we thought would be the most rewarding, because what does everybody want more opportunity to do? And that's buy artwork. So
or looking, like you said, planned.
Right. That's true. So why don't we show your pre-OAX opportunities, because
sure.
I think
I still have the commissions I picked up last year. I still have your sons to do, because we had talked on the phone, and I was going to do a couple sketches for him still, but he said to wait until he was done with school and everything else. Hey, Robert. I love Robert. Robert bought one of the Harry Potter pages for me last year. But Robert, your profile picture doesn't have your hat, so that's an imposter.
It does makes him look a little, I don't know if it's a little younger or whatever, but without the white hat.
Without the white hat, I don't believe it. But because he had wanted 2 different scenes, so I wanted to do a couple sketches so he could sort of decide which direction to go, and then I have a big Sandman one I still have to do that I sent because with commissions I usually do, with like bigger ones, I do like a preview sketch, and then so with the Sandman one I had done one, but it was symmetrical, and the collector said, well, I don't want it symmetrical, I want it kind of Sandman and crazy. So I'm still trying to get out of an organized box, which is not my wheelhouse.
Well, Brad, I mean, your artwork is fairly, I don't know, fairly structured, because it has, the line work is very, well thought out, You know, it's
Yeah,
almost
thank
like a
you, yeah.
woodcut in certain ways. So if
Mhm.
somebody says they want everything turned on its side, that's a little, you know, I can
Yeah,
see why.
I gotta study like a J.H. Williams, you know,
Mm,
J.H. Williams the third, because his stuff is he's the master of I don't know what the right word is, chaos, I guess.
right. Well,
Structured chaos.
yeah, in it, on a DPS, right? Because whenever you think J.H. Williams, you think of some, you know, wide angle,
Yes.
like
Yep.
lots of panels. It's not like a splash. It's a
Yeah.
spread, but all crazy angles and stuff. So no, I
And
get you there.
gorgeous, but
Yeah.
not my not my training. But yeah, so I've been doing. I was going to offer these. I did a few of these for OAX. If you remember the old Tales from the Crypt, and Tales from the Crypt, and like a lot of those weird stories and science ones, I love that sort of layout with
Oh
like
yeah, and
the
the old
big,
EC covers.
yeah,
And
exactly. And then so I was doing terror and adventure. So I did this little guy that was for a manga called Berserk that I love. I did a fun Ghost Rider one,
oh, that's awesome.
and
Shoot.
then it's fun just to sort of make up the dreaded penance stare, like in this issue. So that's the Ghost one. There's an old comic, or not? There's an old movie called Curse the Demon or Night of the Demon. But so I did a fun Curse of the Demon.
That looks like it's kind of a classic 70s horror film.
It was, I don't know what, it was a Jock Turner film, so it might have been 40s or 50s.
Oh wow, so real early. All right.
Yeah, really early. And then this one I did for myself, and I've never kept artwork before. And then so I don't think I ever will, but this one I was kind of tempted to keep it just because I did a true Tales of the Crypt Crypt Keeper. And then I did for the title was a splitting headache because Crypt Keepers
That's
and then
awesome.
I did where's the other one?
So these
and
are
then,
just for fun. These aren't commissions. These are ones you just
no,
did for-
these were commissions.
Oh,
These
they
were
were?
just like I said, I was playing around with that, just playing around with the font, and then again making it look like an old EC comic.
Yep.
But like, so then I did this alien one, and then what's that on LV 426? And then oh, here's the pencils. I was going to do. This is the Rocketeer one I was going to do. Those are the pencils for it.
Oh wow.
Because you can't go wrong with a Rocketeer. And actually, a lot of those the little cards I did. These are the ones I've done so far, just to kind of show you an example. But a lot of them I did the Rocketeer.
Oh shoot, those are great.
Again, you can't go wrong with.
we could have been doing an art sale tonight, Joe, and we would have been selling a lot of this stuff for you. But oh, that's awesome.
And the Witch King. There's some things like a Xenomorph for the Witch King or Rocketeer. Any excuse to draw those guys, no problem.
Wow. Well, let me show the slides so everybody knows what the prices are here. So you are going to do a sketch card size piece, just like the ones you just showed.
Yeah, a little 2.5 by 3.5 or whatever it is.
Yeah, and we're getting the stock printed up right now, so we'll be able to ship that over to you.
Yeah, those are fun.
You'll have it before the end of this month for certain. But yeah, I mean these are fun, and again, you can tell you put a lot of thought into your line work, which is what I love the most about your work here. So
my ethos has always been, if you're willing to spend money on me, I don't want to shortchange you at all. I want to make sure you get every line worth,
Mm-hmm. So then just like, so you have 75 on that one, and then the other one was the pieces you were just showing, like kind of the faux cover. But so what would you want people to ask for? I mean, these are going to be, they're on 12 by 16 and they're $600, but in the approach to these, I mean, would you just want them giving you a single character or theme?
Yeah, usually because with those, with the price being essentially lower for what I charge for like commissions, just like a single character, that way I can sort of do like a bust, and then the things in like those little, like the font I would make up if they don't already have a, like that one, I took the original logo and I added some drips to it, but that way I could just have fun with the font and the little, in this issue, or decide what to put in the 3 circles next to it. But again, I'll take any ideas, as long as my goal is, like I said, not only for you to get your money's worth with the amount of detail, but also I want it to be fun, because otherwise, what's the point?
Right, exactly.
If you're not having fun, there's no point in any of this.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you on that one. No, but these are fun. I mean, I think that clearly a couple people in the chat would have liked to have been able to buy one or two of these pieces tonight. So,
Well, those, like I said, and all these I'll have at OAX too, which is
Yep.
nice.
well, that's what we need to know. Remember, like I say, I want to give people a reason to head over to your table once the doors open. You know. But those sketch cards, I mean, how long do those take you to do?
Ooh, that's a fair question. I'd probably say about an hour and a half, 2 hours maybe. It just depends. Like a suit of armor, like the Witch King one, a little bit more. But like it's fun to do those as like a I don't want to say warm up, but like at the end of the day when I'm like I've actually got a cover due tomorrow, so like they're fun to do because no one's telling me what to do with those.
Right.
So like, and it doesn't have to go through like this cover I'm currently working on was, and I won't say anything about it because I'm going to complain, but it was, they wanted like a spooky Addams Family kind of house. So I did that. And then they said, oh, it's too Victorian. And then, so I said, okay. So then I made it less Victorian and more I guess brutalist. And they said, okay, that's great. That's exactly what we wanted. Only it's still a little bit too Victorian. So then I took out some of the bricks. And then they're like, okay, we love this. And then they sent it to the marketing team. And then the marketing team says, we don't like this at all. We need it to look like a college dorm room. So literally before you called, I was redrawing the entire thing just and
that's no way to work, Joe. That's no way.
But
when you get to sit down with the whole team before you put pencil to paper, I think next time. That's what I would recommend.
But so, like I said, with those other things, like the sketch cards and those faux covers I was doing, they're just fun. Like I picked all those because I wanted to draw them, you know? So like, it's just, no one else is telling me it's too or not enough Victorian. So it's
exactly. No, not at all. Oh man. Well, I mean, hey, that's the life of a professional illustrator.
Exactly. That's right.
You got. I'm sure this isn't the first time you've gone through 3 or 4.
Iterations of it. It's like, because I was walking with my wife. My wife was like, "Well, why didn't you do this or that?" And I said, look, just going into it, you know, that number 1 is not going to be what they wanted, and the number 15 might be what they wanted, and eventually you'll go back to number 1. It'll just take them 20 turns. That you know what, we do want Victorian actually, and that's how it'll end.
Man, well, I could never do it. I need a clear path, and that wouldn't work for me. I'm glad I didn't become an illustrator.
That's because my wife works in insurance, and then she's like, I'm a problem solver. I need to solve the problem. And I was like, the way to solve the problem is to do all the changes and and not go crazy. There's only one answer, unfortunately.
Yeah, no, I get it. But hey, before we sign off, I Corey wants us to. He's repeating. I need Crypt Keeper. So
Corey, I know him on. He can message me on Instagram. Message me, Corey. Yeah, but Corey's awesome. He was a lot of fun. He came to my table twice. I think it was in between Universal visits. So again, your location venue was perfect.
Yeah, no, we're happy with where we're at. And you got to go to Universal too?
Not Universal. So like last year and this year, my wife will come down on. Last year she came down on Saturday, went right to Universal both days, and then we went to Disney together on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And this year she'll probably come down and do the same thing. So I won't see her till Monday, even though she'll be there.
As long as she's happy, and
exactly.
And she's happy to see you on Monday, then that's all good.
That's right. Yeah. No, actually, today was our 21-year wedding anniversary.
Congratulations!
And then we went out apple picking. Do you remember? What was it called? Brant's. It was like Brant's Apple Farm. It shouldn't have been too far from where you were. It's right down 84.
Yeah. I know the one you're talking about.
Yeah. So we went there today and went apple and pear picking, and it was very Norman Rockwell. I brought out a couple of originals if you want to see before we go.
Yeah, show them off, and then I see Uko's in the green room, ready and raring to go as well. So
I have a piece from Uko. Actually,
Yeah?
Yuko's a great job. So I've got this nice San Julian painting.
Oh, just pull out a San Julian from your desk. Wow.
That actually was a gift from Albert. Don't tell
I was just
anybody.
going to ask if you got that from Albert, but a gift?
Yeah.
I've
a
never,
gift.
the word gift and Albert, I don't think have ever been said in the same sentence before.
That's why I said don't tell anybody. And Wayshack, I'm pretty sure Wayshack's coming back to the show. Because he's been at the first 2 OAX.
Yes.
But this last year at OAX, I picked this up from Wayshack.
Oh my gosh.
This Venom piece.
Wow.
I love his work. His work is just unfair.
John's amazing.
What else do I got just a couple more. So there's a Doug Sneed, a Playboy prelim.
Oh, I love Doug's work. Oh,
I know. I wanted to buy the original watercolors, but he said his daughter had that one. So you're not winning that fight.
No, take the prelim.
Nice, Gianni cover for a Monster Men. And then one more. We'll pull out a classic Magnola. Just oh, there's actually one more I got from Albert recently. This one I bought, but it was a Wally Wood piece.
Oh, damn. That's awesome. I've never seen that piece before.
It was published eventually. It was from like a history comic strip that I think it was published posthumously. Because he had done like 12 of them for this newspaper, and then the newspaper shut down, and eventually it got rebought, and then it was published.
Mm-hmm.
But either way, that one's going on the wall soon.
Wow. Well, congrats. Those are all great pieces.
Thanks, man.
I think many.
I couldn't come on here without bringing something else out.
Well, we'll have to have you back on, man. I mean, we've never actually done like an artist interview, and you're a collector too. So yeah, let's plan on that.
I'm down.
It's going to be a busy couple months, from here until probably the holiday. But yeah, let's work. Yeah. Let's keep talking about it. I mean, I'd love to have you on.
And I'm not doing anything till February, so
that's true. That might be the opportunity. We could do an interview, like a month before the show, and we could talk about some of the pieces you're going to be bringing and stuff.
Oh, like cool! That. Yeah, because hopefully I'll have a bunch more by then. So
cool.
Sweet.
All right, man.
Thanks, Gil. This was fun.
It was, Joe. So looking forward to having you at the show again in February this year and next year. And
a little warmer.
Yeah, it better be. All right, man.
Warmer than Ohio. I promise that. That
is
You don't miss that.
No, I don't. All right.
Have
thanks, a good one, and we'll be talking, man. See you, Joe.
Thanks.
All right. No, Joe's a lot of fun. I've known him for a long time, and this is his third time coming back to OAX because he's the art show for Albert Moy. And he's got to come back every time. So here, Mr. Smith is in the green room. We'll get him here in the show. Hey,
how's it going?
I'm all right. We've it's kind of crazy around here because we're planning. We got OAX stuff going on, and we have our 12th virtual show in November, and just lots of different stuff to plan for, but it's all pulling together. We got a good team, all right. Working here at Comic Card Fans now, and it's it's fun. It's fun to have so many different projects going on that are all interesting and the community appreciates. But I mean, what about you as a creator? Do you like juggling multiple jobs at a time, or are you kind of get one task, finish it, move on to the next thing?
If there's multiple ones, it keeps me active, I would say. So yeah, I kind of like working on multiple pieces because no matter what stage they're in or projects, I can kind of go back and forth between them. If I'm stuck on one, I can set it aside and work on something else. Sure. Just doing one, I don't know. It doesn't feel good to me with just one piece, or one project kind of a deal. So I have to work on multiple things. Yeah, because my ideas pop in, are constantly popping in. And so I was like, I've got to get it out, However, whether it's a sketch or something a little bit more finished, I've got to get it out. I have to get it out instead of just letting it sit there.
Right. Well, your work has such a energy to it. I feel like, I don't know. I can't imagine how you work, but it just seems like I don't want to say it's an aggressive style, but You know, it's like
Mhm.
there's an energy to your paintings, whether, you know, especially the color pieces. You know, it really
Yeah.
feels like you attack the page and the figure work just kind of flows right out of it. And I don't know. I mean, I can't see. You know, it doesn't seem like you know, there's no shackles on you at all while you're working
No.
on these pieces.
Nah,
I
I've learned to take those off, man. Because you know what I mean. I love my work, what I was doing, years ago. You
Mhm.
know, but like you said, I had to take those shackles off, man. It wasn't, you
That's
know.
Yeah, because that's the one thing I regret not being able to do is get and see a lot of the creators' work. And I'd love to just sit back, behind the table with you and just watch you paint because
Mhm.
I mean I love the style and I just feel like, yeah, it would. I'd like to record it. I mean, I don't know. Have you ever had anybody record you? Is there anything out on YouTube? Have you actually doing any work?
Just the things I record myself here. Other than that, no one's really other than like a few minutes here and there at a show, but not like some like a documentary style type thing. No one's done that with me. So
Well, if I have time, I'll swing by because I've really always liked your work. I mean, the
thank
colors
you.
pop. It's very, I mean, being both a great artist and great at color, you can be a great illustrator, but maybe you're not. You're really great at both. And color for me was always a challenge. I could never, when I went to art school, everything was muddy, right?
Mhm.
All my colors were muddy.
Yeah.
I've always been envious of people who can see the way color works well together and how to just make things pop. And all of your color work just has a vibrancy to it that that so few creators get. I relate it to like Stelfreeze, really great at color as well.
Mhm.
And you and no, I just marvel at that. And I think that to me, that if somebody was going to get something from you, they'd want to get a color piece because that's the thing that I associate most with your work.
Yeah. Yeah, I rarely do black and white. I used to do a lot of gray tones, like grayscale stuff, but I kind of graduated from that. I mean, I still do it, but it's like the requests I get are more color,
Right.
which is great, But I remember you mentioned something about the muddy colors, I've learned
Yeah.
to embrace the muddy colors.
You have?
I have. So,
I have not seen a muddy colored piece of yours before though. I'll have to dig around on CAF or maybe do some Google image searches and see if I can find some because everything pops. You have that like atomic greens in your color. I mean, everything just
Mhm.
glows. It's vibrant.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll have to look around. Maybe
Okay.
On one of the motorcycle pieces, you've added some smoke or something that's kind of like tone things down, but I can't even imagine it there.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I enjoy it, man. I'm glad. Thank you for noticing that. Because I kind of work hard on the color stuff. So
Well, why don't we show off what your pre-OAX opportunities are?
okay.
I think it's kind of similar to the ones that you had last time, but I think we have some new images to show and a little bit
Yeah.
more variety. And also that I didn't turn on. Let me turn it
Mhm.
on now. I got you on the screen.
Okay.
So let me. I got. There's these switches to flip. All right, there's that. And I want to get the link in the chat for everybody too before we start. And there we go.
Well, yeah, I'm sure you have a lot of sleepless nights, man, getting prepared for next year.
Yeah, or I get up real early. One way or another. It's there's just, but it's fun, man. The thing is,
Yeah.
I'm living the dream, right? As a kid, I wanted to draw comic books, and ended up doing website work, and then but I get to work with people who are doing what I wanted to do when I was a kid, right? And I think most people, I think a lot of people who read comics. I mean, we all like to, everybody wanted to draw from the stuff that they saw in those books. I mean, I think when you're reading comics, it just sparks creativity in you. And so even when I was, 8 to 10, I mean, I felt like I wanted to be an illustrator just because I loved reading the stories. And I think that's what, ends up, for those of us who can't do it, you end up going out and buying it, and collecting it. I think that's kind of how we work our way through to get to this point. So yeah. So, I mean, Nick Barucci says this all the time. It never feels like work, because you're getting to do something that you enjoy. And it's something I would never, I will never take for granted, because it's just like, shoot, I getting to talk to you, getting to talk with Bart Sears earlier, people whose work I've always admired. I could never fathom that kind of an opportunity. But
Right.
yeah, here. But hey, let me throw the link in the chat so everybody has access to see the commission opportunities that you have for OAX in February.
All right.
Let's see. I'll go ahead and just I'll start with the sketch cards. I know we didn't have a black and white. At least I don't think I got a black and white in there.
No, as I say, I rarely do them. I was looking for some last night, but they were like older cards, you know. But I figured people kind of figure out that I can do black and white based on some of the other images,
Sure.
you'll be showing. So
definitely. So we have a OAX sketch card tier, and I think you probably heard me tell Joe that we're getting them printed right now, and we will ship them out as soon as we have them in hand. It'll definitely be before the end of this month. So you have a black and white option at $200 and a single character color option at $300.
yes.
Then I know that let's see, we also have a sketch cover option, black and white only on these single figure, and although that one Spider-Ham, I guess does he count as a character? I guess he counts as a character.
It counts as a character, but sometimes even with something like this, if I'm enjoying what I'm doing with a particular piece or a sketch cover, even though it's just black and white, I will add a little something else to it,
Well, if the piece demands it, you got to do it.
Yeah.
So these are $250 and stuff like this. I mean, do you have a lot of blank sketch covers, or do you typically, receive the sketch cover from the client?
Sometimes I receive them, but I have about 100 blanks here.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I just pick them up whenever, Yeah, so I want to do more on them, just show more of them instead of just doing on, watercolor paper or something like that, And so I know a lot of folks collect, the blank covers. So I want to do more like black and white covers for like a daily piece.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. So when somebody isn't supplying the sketch cover, do you let them know in advance, like, I'm going to go ahead and use, the Spider-Gwen cover, or do you just do it?
Well, if it's just for myself, I'll just do whatever.
Yeah.
But a lot of times, like at shows, someone will bring me like the Black Cat one. Someone brought it to me at a show, and the Spider-Gwen was one that I already had, that they were interested. Sure. I have like a list, like a little list of blanks that I have, and I just go through them if I have them, and I'll let the person know. If not, they'll email it to me. I mean, mail it out to me. Yeah.
All right. Well, then we also have a 9x12 single character color headshot or bust, $300 for these. I know I saw a few of these get posted to Comic Art Fans after OAX last year. So these are beautiful. Again, it's back to that color. I mean, whenever I think of your work, I think of images like this: the purples, the greens, the yellows, everything's popping.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man. Just one day, honestly, man, just one day, it was just like, I was working on color, then all of a sudden everything just like clicks, and just keep going for it. And just trying to improve.
Yeah, it's beautiful. So these are 300 for the 9x12 headshot and bust, and then you do have a full figure option on 9x12 color as well. Yes. And these are 350. These are just gorgeous.
Thanks. And those are fun to do. The full figure on the smaller size. I can get through them fairly quickly. So those are fun.
And watercolor?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and watercolor, and I think the Silac one is like a mixture of ink wash too, just to get a little bit more darker, more contrast to it. But yeah, it's mostly for these here, mostly watercolor.
Wow, I love that. The Storm is great. I mean, you made a white costume have a lot of depth using color. I mean, it's beautiful.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
And then you have 11x17 single character, minimal background, full figure, both a grayscale version option at $550, and then a color option for $650.
Yeah, again, stuff like that. Again, that size, I like that size too, and just doing like a graphic background or something like that, to it, instead of like a full background. I get excited about that because anything's possible for like a graphic background.
Antoine wanted to know, what series Bristol board are you using for the color art?
I'm using Strathmore watercolor 400 series.
Very nice. I think Antoine's dabbled a little bit in the illustration arts.
Okay.
Let's see. Next up, we have the motorcycle option.
Yes.
We learned about this last year. You paint a great motorcycle. I'll give you that, and a trike, I guess. Here.
Yeah.
So no, that image on the left, I think a lot of people would love to add to their collection. I mean, it just it kicks butt, man. It's great.
Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, I just love it. You know, I love bikes. I love vehicles. You know, but something about motorcycles, man, I really love. You know, the design of it. You know, it's just pretty sleek.
No, I mean, when I see the work like this, you know, it reminds me of like Sid Mead, right? I mean,
Mhm.
the way he would draw, you know, cars or futuristic vehicles. I mean, you have an eye for it, and you know, and not just an eye for it. I mean, you have an imagination for it, and I think that's what made Sid Mead's work so cool, right? It was like he could draw like the crazy futuristic vehicle, and it looked, you know, you felt like it could work, you know. And I look at these two, and I could just tell that you really enjoy, you know, drawing vehicles. That's just so awesome.
Yeah, man. I have quite a few Sid Mead books, art books here. You know, and there's a connection too. There's a connection to Sid Mead, because I took a course, man, years ago, who was an assistant. This guy, he was a car designer, and he was an assistant to Sid Mead years ago.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and after I graduated college, this guy used to teach at the college that I went to, but I never had him as an instructor. You know, and he was doing like vehicle designs for like General Motors and stuff like that. And he was running courses throughout the year, and I took it was like an 8-week course learning about vehicle designs. You know, and it was and how he taught it, man, it just never left me. You know, because he had excitement. You know, when he was teaching, you know, and he was like, yeah, that excitement just, you know, just transfer it to the paper.
Damn.
Yeah.
Well, you know, it's just cool that you have this as an option. I can't think of another artist who has the vehicle option as part of, you know, something you see on the possibilities of, you know, of executing a commission. So that's awesome.
I love them, man. They're fun. They're fun. They're sexy. I love bikes. You know, they're just like kind of sexy. So yeah.
So we have it. So these are $800 for 11 by 17, and then you have a cover quality 11 by 17 as well, up to 2 characters, and yeah, that image on the left looks very familiar.
Yeah,
that was that OAX. So you have a grayscale option at 1200 and a color option at 2000 for the 11 by 17 2 character pieces. Yeah, these are awesome, man.
Yeah. The again the Tumblr, that was fun. For the Action Comics.
Yeah, you got to do a little bit of reference work on that one. I'm sure that's not all from memory, right? But no, that's awesome.
Yeah, I have a model here, so. But that was fun to do.
That came out great. So when you say cover quality, I mean, how do you like, if somebody were to give you 2 characters, do you ask any questions? I mean, or do you just kind of get your own vision on what you want to do with the characters?
I'll ask questions. You know, things of you know, is there anything specific, you know, you would like to see with these characters? You know, whether it's a costume or, you know, how would you like them interacting with each other? You know, and I get those little bits of information from them. You know, sometimes I could immediately see it, you know, as they're talking, describing, you know, some of the things they do want to see, you know, which is nice, you know, kind of takes the guesswork out, right?
Yeah, giving the customer what they want, right? So it's I remember, gosh, like 20 years ago, I won the opportunity to get a 2-character commission from George Perez, and so I'm like, all right, you know what? I'm gonna let my son, who was only like 6 years old, you know, I'm like, I'm gonna let him pick the characters. You know, I don't know why. It's a crazy thing. And we got to have lunch with George too. It's like it was part of a Hero Initiative thing, And so my son said he wanted Thor and Superman, which I thought was weird. I think that was around the time, they were trying to get the JLA Avengers stuff together. But George goes, so you want them fighting, right? Because this is during the lunch, and my son was like, no, they got to be friends. So it's like, because George would have drawn them, fighting each other for sure.
Yeah.
And but George came back with this great, they were flying together kind of a thing, and it was awesome.
Yeah.
So you never know. So asking the right question, because if not, otherwise, it probably wouldn't have had the same. It would have been a very different picture at the end of the day. But
once they get their description of what they're looking for, after that, it's just up to me, So I'll just do like, a series of sketches or whatever, prelims, and and send them off. And not necessarily I would say, hey, choose what you like, but sometimes they would say, hey, I like the left one or the right one or whatever, and I just kind of like go with that. Sometimes other than that, sometimes it's just whichever I see fit that I feel that works.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we do have one other size option as well, and that one is huge. 18 by 24, multi-character, $3,500. I mean, these are in the art collecting world, we call these wall power, right? Because I mean they're just amazing, and I mean 18 by 24 is a commission size that most artists don't tackle. So,
right.
I mean, I'm just impressed that you're willing to, to kind of put the time into something at this scale.
Yeah, it frees me up. Actually, I'm working on one now that's about that size, 18 by 24, and so you can open up a little bit, with it, and so and it's fun to do, and to me, actually, sometimes it goes a little faster, at a larger size as opposed to something a little bit more smaller.
Well, I guess so. I mean, there are some artists I know that like to work, larger, and they say that they actually say the same thing. They not only that, but they actually get to put in more detail when they want to, because it's larger, especially when they're using it for print or something. I know you gave me another example image as well. Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Get Galactus and the FF, and gosh.
Yeah, that one I love. That one I really love a lot.
You got a vehicle in it, so that's a bonus.
Yeah. Yeah, man, that idea just hit me one day. It took me about 2 days off, about 3 days off and on, work on it little by little, and it just popped in my head, man. So I had to get it out, despite what other things I had to do. That was in me, and I had to get it done. So
yeah, it's beautiful, man.
Thanks. Thank you.
All right. Well, let me see. I think that was that the last slide? Yeah, that was the last slide I had.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, this is we're it's a pleasure to have you back to the show. Obviously, and hopefully this time I will get to hang out a little bit more and get to see your work. I remember I stopped by your table at the end of the day on Sunday, and you were still busy doing some sketch cards and things. You were like a machine, man.
It was fun, even though it got long, in the end of the day, but it was fun, and again, just a different experience from other shows, we go to, and so I'm glad to be coming back. It's a very, it has its own flavor, man. Yeah.
No, we're happy to have you back, and again, just the fact that you're really out there to please the fans. I mean, that's that says a lot to us, that you're just, I don't know. I mean, there were a lot of people who had positive things to say about the work they got from you, so we knew we wanted to bring you back.
Awesome, man. Greatly appreciate that a lot. Trust me. Yeah.
All right. Well, in the in the lead up to the show, if there's anything you need, obviously reach out, and then we'll be talking closer to the show, so I can kind of get a feel for the stuff that you're bringing.
Okay.
And we'll be letting everybody know about why they need to hit your table and everything. So yeah, we'll
awesome,
stay
man.
in touch.
That's great. Thank you so much. Thank you.
You got it, Uko. So have a wonderful night, and we'll be talking again soon.
All right, man. Take care. All right.
Yeah. All right. Well, we made it a little late, but we got a few more things to go over before we get on then and bring Mr. Snork in, who I'd forgotten to give his link to, but now he now he has it, so that's a good thing. And you know, and I should remind everybody, because I didn't say it at the beginning of the show, Kazra is actually on another show right now. He's over on Marvelously Sketched. He's talking about OAX and Comic Art Live and CAF and God only knows, probably IC3. He's probably talking about everything over there. But let's see, I wanted to throw a link into the chat, not so you can leave and go watch him because he's probably almost done, but you can save it and go, you know, and watch it later. There we go. You wouldn't want to leave right now, right? But let's see here. So there you go. Now you got that. But we really didn't get a chance to talk about the mystery sketch when Mr. Mafood was on, and I kind of had that as a line item to try to talk with him there, but I knew that we weren't going to be able to. There's too much stuff going on. So let me go ahead and just pull the screen up here. So mystery sketch sales are now active for Cal 12. And no new surprises or anything like that. Still sketch card tier and 9x12. Prices are still the same. You know, there's still $200 plus shipping for the 9x12s, and also what is it? Shoot, oh, got too many windows open here now. Let me close that one. Swing back over there. So yes, the shipping with the 9x12s is $25, so it's a $225 purchase, and the sketch cards are $60 plus $8 shipping. And you can buy multiples. You can buy, you can go ahead and request if you want to pick out like 4, and you can say you want Thor for all of them, or for me maybe Cyclops for all of them, or you can list out 4 characters in the character box. And then the payment options are all sort of through PayPal. I mean, Venmo is owned by PayPal, so you can click on all 3 of those options and either use your PayPal account, a credit card, or work with Venmo to log in there and make your payments. But the thing is, you know, we actually have a full slate of artists, lots of creators already signed up for doing this. I think if I counted them all right, that there's 83 listed here right now. And you know, familiar faces. You know, Dan Brereton's back. He I think he didn't do a couple in a row, but he's back for this one. He's going to be doing sketch cards and 9x12s. Andy and Veronica Fish are back as always, and then some of our folks from IC3, Chris Anderson, Ian Cinco, Jamie Jones. I mentioned Jim Mafood. Jim's doing it for the first time, and you know, it's going to be awesome just to see what he's going to do. He's only doing 9x12s. But yeah, see, Stingray shouting out the IC3 artist names, you know. And again, all random. For those of you who aren't familiar with Mystery Sketch, you get to pick the characters that you want in the sketches that you purchase. You don't know which artist is going to get assigned to you. But if you go through the whole list, and again, I can go ahead and just throw the link in the chat so you can read and see every artist that's in there. And I do feel like we'll be adding more as we go. I can't promise it, you know, what the final number will be, but you know, we got a lot of names people would recognize. Simone DeMio's in this again. Chris Foreman, George Hodge, everybody's favorite George Hodge. He's doing some amazing sketch card work, and I think if you go to CAF and Google George's name, and Hodge is spelled H-A-G-E, you will see that I think all the artwork images are sketch cards. Maybe 1 or 2 aren't, but at any rate, George does great work, and you know, you might get lucky enough to get him. Fred Hembeck is back, Brian Hitch, Tony Perna, several of the Japan Comic Art Expo artists are there. From Next Comic Art, you know, you've got everybody we're familiar with, from Harvey to Mannix to Elmer to, you know, Kajo, John Amore. I mean, you know, everybody that you're used to seeing on the art drops and things, they're going to be back. We actually are working with Nicholas Rizzo, and we have Eduardo Rizzo also participating in Mystery Sketch this time around. That's pretty freaking awesome. We've been talking with Nicholas for, gosh, probably about a year. It's just finally had the opportunity to get their team involved with Mystery Sketch. So it's fantastic to have them on board. And you know, any other rep groups that are out there that might like to participate, you know how to reach out to us. We always like to work with folks that are interested in working with us and see that we're spreading the goodwill of collecting original art. We're being good patrons to the artists that they work with, and yeah, the more artist groups we can work with, the better. Then after that, but yeah, from them, I mean, Chris Norick probably recognized a few of those names. Carlos Dermas is on there, Salvador Sands, I mean, both of those artists we've picked for, CAF Update, picks numerous times. Claudio O'Boy is in that list. And then I know Mark from Splash Page, he's been on the road a bit, so he got me some of the names. I think he'll definitely have a few more, but Moratat's in there. I got a sketch card from him last time, and it was fantastic, all painted. His color work is amazing. TD Art Gallery, a lot of familiar names there. Ryan Otagawa and Jason Krager. Nir Levy, of course, is a fan favorite. Tony Parker's back. Cross always does amazing work. Charles Holbert, the last 2 sketch card shows that Tatiana's done. Charles is just has blown many a mind, as well as Dylan Matko, right? Who, maybe he'll even do a glow in the dark piece for you. You never know, right? You never know. Uh-oh. Kazer's really on his game. What's going on over there? I don't know. I'm not paying attention to what you guys are talking about right now. But at any rate, so Mystery Sketch is open, and it's going to be the next Comic Art Live is the weekend of November 15th and 16th. The kickoff show is on the 14th. We do have giveaways as always on the Friday before Comic Art Live. What do we got? We actually have 4 pieces of art that will be given away to people who purchase a mystery sketch. We've got 2 sketch cards, one from Von Randall and the other from Harvey. We have an Iron Man drawing from Bob Layton, and then a Jim Jimenez Scarlet Witch. And the Iron Man and the Scarlet Witch are 9x12s as well. So yeah, we got a little bit of variety in that. And who knows? I think, as we go through the next 5.5 weeks up until Comic Art Live, we'll probably add some stuff into there, other potential giveaways and fun opportunities through Mystery Sketch. Why should I wear my mask, Marcus? Am I better when I'm looking like someone else? I don't know, man. I can't. I'm not doing it. I gave you guys the pleasure of a mask last night. Just remember that. So. Deadline to order. We actually take orders right through. It's usually noon on Saturday of the show is when we cut it off, because once people see the work being done, that the fun thing we do on Friday evening is any of the artists that are participating in the Mystery Sketch can join us for a 9 o'clock show on Friday evening on the 14th. Usually it's mostly the next Comic Art crew because they love hanging out and painting and drawing for us. But once people get the opportunity to see the kind of level of work that's being done, there's always people that want to come on and purchase them leading into the next day. So typically we will close it at noon Eastern Standard Time on the 15th of November. So yeah, there's plenty of time. And throughout, the fun thing too is, as we kind of assign these to the creators as we go. So a lot of the work gets done during the weekend of the show. But we are working with a lot of international artists. Most of Mark Hayes from Splash Pages, his artists are in South America. Jiggy's crew is in the Philippines. I know that Rizzo is in. I know he's in South America. I don't know if it's Argentina or Brazil, but a lot of his creators are from that area as well. So we like to get some of the assignments out early so that they can get their artwork done. And in the case of all the overseas artists, they do ship their art directly to us here at CAF HQ, and then we mail them out just to keep that's how we keep the price down to $25, even if you get an international artist. Same thing with Yoshi's crew in Japan. They ship their artwork here into CAF HQ. We pack it up, ship it out, and that's how it gets handled. Your fans only want to see you. That's why it's in a mask. All right. Either way, you get the idea. Excuse me. So there you have it. So we'll be sending out a mailing to remind everybody about Mystery Sketch. And since we're talking about Comic Art Live, remember, if you're selling, please, start setting stuff aside. I think the window for adding artwork to your Comic Art Live booth will start in probably I don't think it's going to be next Thursday, but it's probably going to be the week after that, like the Monday after that. But which I don't know what the date is, the Monday after New York Comic Con. But either way, we'll let everybody know when that is. But if you're going to be a seller, start setting stuff aside, scan some stuff. Remember, we always encourage you to bring new artwork for sale to Comic Art Live. If you haven't attended a virtual show with us, typically there's 7,000 pieces of art that are brought by collectors, artists, dealers, reps, and it's just a fun weekend. There's 2 art drops that happen. One's on Saturday morning, the other happens on Sunday. So there's something to see, new artwork to see both days. Usually about 5,000 pieces dropping on Saturday, 2 to 2,500 pieces on Sunday. So yeah, flips. No, Marcus, no, you don't be so jaded, Marcus. Come on, man. Anyway, so there you go. Comic Art Live will be in full swing. It is in full swing. It started right now. Dylan, hey Dylan, there you go. Just hey, nice to see you as always. And we missed you on the last art drop, but your pieces did really well. Surprised the Spider-Man didn't go, but all the glow in the dark stuff was high in demand. So you know what to work on next time Tatiana sets up one of those sketch card drops. Let's see here. I might as well. What do I want to do? I guess I should do the schedule, because I've got a few things going on there. But hey, I got a fun image here. Marcus will appreciate this one. Let's see. There's a meetup that's going to happen in New York, and that's of course next weekend. I'm in the photograph. Lance and Marcus is in the photograph. I don't think any, well, outside of Kazra, I'm not sure. Well, Carl's probably going to be there. Probably none of these folks are going to be there, but it's going to be a CAF meetup at New York Comic Con. See, look at that. Marcus, he's always questioning things. What's New York Comic Con? I don't know. Maybe somebody in the chat could let Marcus know what New York Comic Con is. But yes, there will be a meetup. And the details on that, I actually have another slide that doesn't fill the screen quite as well, but it has all of the details on it. Look, I can go over here and look right at it. So yes, Friday, October 10th, there'll be a group photo at booth K10 or K40 and 41. That's the DeTullio Art Collective booth. So if you're going to be at New York Comic Con and you're going to be there on Friday, you got to swing by DeTullio's booth at noon. And there's plenty of team members there. Matt Sardo will be there. DeTullio will be there. Colin will be there. Yeah, Colin will be there, and Kazra will be there. So plenty of folks. Tatiana and I are the team members not making it. But after that, after the show's over, there will be an 8 p.m. get together. It's at Gabby O'Hara's, and I guess that's at 123 West 39th Street between 6th and 7th. So that's not too long of a walk. They're asking, yeah, bring some art if you got your portfolio with you. But yeah, should be a good time. New York Comic Con is always well attended by art collectors, as you know. Just that's it's a big busy show. They have the art auction that Mike Negan puts together. I think is that Friday night or Saturday night? It can't be Friday night. It's got to be Saturday night. So plenty of stuff for you to do if you're an art collector. One of the biggest artist alleys on the planet, I guess, is New York Comic Con. If you can catch the artists at their booths, because it's such a long show that they're not always there, but it is the biggest space for artists. All right, I got through that one, but yeah, so that's the big event that we have coming up. But also, here's the whole schedule. I won't run through it all. I left Kazra on Marvelously Sketched, so everybody would know that that's where they can find him. Then big for me is I've got a Saturday show with Sean Crystal. He's going to be dropping some small painted pieces, so that's going to be fun. And next week, Todd Spohr. I don't think I've ever mentioned Todd's name. Todd works with me on the Infected by Art book, and he also goes to IX every year. And I thought it would be good to have him on for a collector interview prior to IX, because IX is coming up. It's on the schedule here. You can see it's the 22nd through the 25th. Kazra and I are going to be at that show. But Todd's a good guy. He's been he's worked in a lot of different interesting collectible industries in his over the last 20 years, and all the while holding down a regular job that's probably not as exciting as collecting original art. Outside of that, we do during New York Comic Con weekend on that Saturday, the 11th, we're going to be doing it's going to be a pre-OAX show. So it's going to be during New York Comic Con. So those of you who aren't there, probably want to tune in. I know that Mike McCone will be doing his pre-OAX announcement, and we've got a few others coming up as well. I can tell you that I know that on a CAF update late in October, we will be doing the Alan Davis pre-OAX announcements, and I know that one's going to have a fair amount of interest from some of you. I think Chris Nork might be interested in an Alan Davis piece. You never know. But yeah, outside of that, we got the amateur match between Jordan and Matt Kennedy. That will be hosted by Mr. DiTullio on the 22nd. Anything else in here of interest that you guys haven't seen before? I'm not sure. Probably not. Ron S. A lot of collectors who've been in the hobby for a while know Ron S. Since he goes by Ron S in his CAF gallery, I didn't get permission to use his last name, so I left it as Ron S. But if you know Ron S, you know Ron's got one hell of an art collection, and he's agreed to be a on a show collector interview on the 2nd of December. So I just added that one in today. He confirmed it. So plenty of stuff, and I got a lot of emails out with other people who would like to do some interview shows in the lead up to the end of the year. We'll see. Stefan Rue will be with me at the end of this month too, doing his pre-OAX. So pre-OAX is all the rage these days. Now, it is getting late, but I did promise that I would play this David Peterson page I love. So Chris Nork, I see you in the green room, man. You got to wait, and then I'll bring you on right after that. It's probably good. I could actually run over to the well, never mind where I'll be running while this thing plays. But as always, sorry. Kevin Sharp delivers once again. David Peterson, one of my favorite indie artists, and that's the truth. I know I wrote that in the mailing, but it is true. I've always loved Mouse Guard. I think David Peterson has one of the more, I mean, as illustrators go, he's just got the most lush, beautiful line work. He was meant to draw little mice with swords and battle axes, and he can do no wrong. So here he's talking about something totally different, but than what he draws. It's a true crime book, and kind of interesting. But here, let me play it for you.
Hello, everyone. This is Kevin Sharp. I'm here today with writer, artist David Peterson, creator of Mouse Guard, to talk about a page he loves. David, welcome to the CAF Plus channel and comic art fans. We're really happy to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
When it comes to the picks for this segment, there are deep cuts, and then there are deep, deep cuts. And I think what you've chosen is one of the second ones, as it may not be a book that a lot of our viewers are familiar with. Could you please introduce the artist and the title we'll be talking about today?
Sure. We're looking at The Beast of Chicago, The Murderous Career of H.H. Holmes by Rick Geary.
So this title is from the early 2000s. Where would you have encountered this to the best of your memory?
So when I got this volume, which is, Rick Geary does a series of these books that are true crime, usually Victorian murder, but he's now moved into early 20th century murder. I was already familiar with Rick and this series of books. The first one was called The Mystery of Mary Rogers. And I remember stumbling upon that in a public library in Roseville, Michigan. I was visiting my then girlfriend, now wife, while she was at work. And I had a day off and I had nothing to do. And so I just went to the public library there and stumbled upon this graphic novel. And I was just kind of blown away at comics that were true, like true stories, nonfiction. And also that the artwork was just different than, your standard comic book look, your flavor of the month. And I just fell in love. So by the time I found Beast of Chicago, I was already well familiar and hooked on the Rick Geary style of work.
So when it comes to narrowing down that you want to talk about this book, what is your selection process as far as narrowing down the specific page to pick out of this?
I chose this one partly just to narrow down this book. This is my favorite of the Rick Geary true crime books. Partly Rick's, for Rick's own good work, but also I just find this particular case compelling. and interesting and horrific in that true crime, you want to dig in deeper kind of way. This page in particular is one that I actually own the original. And I picked it out when Rick and I got to meet Rick, and we were talking about maybe doing an art trade. And I said, I'm sure that you don't have much left. And he said, oh, I have a lot of things left. And I said, well, I'd want one from Beast of Chicago. And I picked out this page because it has everything. It's got a map, it's got architecture, it's got a character, and then it's got just kind of that killer sting on the end in the last panel, or the last series of panels that ends up with the last panel where we know this is a true crime story. This is America's first serial killer, and he's welcoming in tenants with special amenities for the ladies.
What about the artwork specifically jumps out at you here?
The art of the infographic is very difficult to do, I think, well, when it can be easy to get bogged down in all those details and all the cross-hatching and line work. So all the maps, and sometimes Rick Geary has cutaways in some of his chapters where you'll see the whole floor plan of a house laid out, so we can see, which direction people had access to which rooms. It's hard to do that without overwhelming it with detail or underwhelming it where it's not interesting. And this first panel with the map, all the info you need is there, and then it's these architectural drawings that still have a lot of character and life. They are not perfect 1 point or 2 point perspective drawings. Everything still has some life to it. I love the borders that he uses in this, that the gutter is essentially black and the border has like a white band around it. I think that takes us back in time to a totally different style, historically speaking, not just in comics, but just in art, in framing, in tone. And then I like that, like on the third panel, this, it's the most dynamic image in some ways, even though it's architectural. And one of the reasons that it's dynamic is he breaks the panel border with it. He comes up out of panel 2 or panel 3 into panels 1 and 2.
As an artist yourself, what are your thoughts on drawing architecture? Something you enjoy?
It is. It's something I enjoy, partly because I get lost in building architectural models for a lot of my architecture with Mouse Guard. I'll use styrofoam or popsicle sticks or balsa wood or cardstock or cardboard and build my architectural models so that I can rotate them and look at them from different angles, photograph them, and not have to worry about all the perspective. And then just get into what angle, what vantage point is going to be the most dynamic for this part of the story. Whether there are characters involved and I need to make sure that they're seen, or if the scale is important, or if it's just about mood and atmosphere. And Rick is doing all of that here.
And is this something, as an art collector, do you display your art on the walls, or are these in portfolios?
This is framed and just above my desk, a little to the right now. It was I'm in my studio right now, and the wall where all of that artwork is hanging, kind of my inspiration wall, was under renovation for quite a while, where I was trying to decide what pieces went there and what didn't, and the things that were there that needed to come down, where their new homes were going to be. And so the Rick Geary piece, once it was framed, didn't have a home in this room for a while, even though I knew I wanted it to be here. And so it stayed in our guest room for a long time, which I got kind of a little devilish tickle out of that, with the theme of the book, the theme of that page in particular, of this serial killer welcoming guests into his murder castle. And we had that on our guest room wall.
let's jump over to your work then. You have a new book coming out, should be right around the time viewers are seeing this video. So please tell us what we can be on the lookout for.
Yeah, Wind in the Willows, an illustrated edition is coming out October 7th. It's a soft cover. It's from IDW, and it has 20 full color illustrations and 50 black and white illustrations. It had been previously released by IDW many years ago in hardcover, but unfortunately went out of print rather quickly and hasn't been available for well over 5 years, I think. So it's nice that they're getting back in print, making it a soft cover so it's a little easier on everybody's wallet. I did a new cover for it. We made sure that the old cover is still included as a 2-page spread. It's a good volume, and I'm pleased that it'll be back in print. It took me years to illustrate that book, and I'm very proud of it.
Fantastic. Thank you for alerting us to that. And thank you for taking the time to join us and talk about this. I was not aware of this series of books at all. And I'm going to guess maybe many of our viewers won't have been.
Of course. I think Rick's work is criminally underappreciated. Not enough people know about these books of his, and they're fantastic.
Saw Tom McDonald lamenting that this wasn't portraying Chicago in any better light than it is today. But hey, you know what time it is? It's time for Mr. Snort. Oh yeah, here we go. We got to change the mood a little bit.
It's back. It's back.
There we go. How you doing, man?
I'm good. I'm tired as hell. I don't know about you.
I'm a little wiped out. Yeah, I didn't. It's been a long week, but it is what it is. I know you've had a busy work week, and that's no fun.
Yes. Well, it's almost over.
Yeah. Is the whole project will be completed tomorrow, so you can
No.
No.
I'm living for the weekend right now, buddy.
Shoot, man, I'm sorry.
That's
Well,
all right.
it is what it is. But no, it's so good. Have you picked up any art in the last week? I know you.
No, I did my unboxing last week for a couple pieces, and I've been laying low ever since.
All right. Yeah, same here. I did actually sign up for a pre-OX finally, so I'm on the board.
Nice.
I'm trying to figure out where I want to go from there. But yeah, actually, after seeing those Dragunas sketch cards, this stuff is really good. I mean, I've never really found subject matter that I'm like, oh, I gotta have that, right? But I just love everything, right? Because he's so talented. I can't wait to see what he's gonna do for my son. But
You should lean in the D&D direction.
right. Well, you know what? It's funny. I remember he actually he did a Thor. I always forget about that. Like a year and a half ago, he did do Mystery Sketch, and he got my assignment, and it's freaking amazing. So anyway, I still might get a sketch card from him. $75. It's worth it.
Feels like you ought to.
Exactly. So hey, let's we got a lot of we don't have to dilly dally here. Why don't we dive into all my stuff, and we can just knock through a few things, and yeah,
Sounds good to me.
talk about comic book artwork, and then we'll go have a beer.
Yes.
All right. So let's see.
I'm gonna go to bed. So
Yeah, man. I hear you. Here, let's just go ahead and highlight this. We'll go through the heritage stuff first, just because one thing I'll just say, who is dropping all the Thor artwork on Heritage? Have you seen that? It's everything. This is a Sal Buscema piece. I don't think there's any Thor in it, but I just thought it was a cool splash page. But my God,
In-Betweener?
who is this character? I clicked on it. Something Mercurio, the 4D man.
Okay.
But
There we go.
yeah, just cool stuff. But the thing is, I mean, literally, there must be 6 Thor pages, 2 from issue 201, and then the smattering throughout it. Then even a Friends, Ron Friends, something like 369 is in there. Somebody's unloading all of their Thor artwork.
There's been some Buckler recently too, right?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's I don't know, it's just weird, that clearly somebody is gets out of the hobby. We've seen that happen with different just different titles, so it's the same collector letting go of stuff, but it's weird. anyway, I thought this was just a cool one. I could have picked any of the Buscema Thor pages, and they would have maybe been a little bit more interesting. But I thought that was a good one. Then Rick Leonardi, Terry Austin, Cloak and Dagger page with Spidey on it.
Ah, nice.
Yeah, this is from issue 3. I mean, look at that.
Oh, that bottom left panel's killer.
Oh man, yeah. This one should do pretty well. I mean, everybody wants I wouldn't say everybody. A lot of collectors would love to have a great example from this run. Leonardo.
And like, look how he's changing the camera angle from the outside panel to the middle panel.
She's
so throwing, and then he switches to the perspective of them, like the daggers going at them in like one swoop.
I didn't even notice that, but that's
cool.
That makes me want to put a bit. I'll track that one. I want to see where it ends up. Then there's been a few of these. It seems like every week there's a different P. Craig Russell epic page from Elric. I like this one a lot, mostly from the last panel. Yep. But I just think it's like, I think this is like storytelling from, and this is like 80, 81 or so, that I think a lot of artists today saw this stuff and just kind of learned, how they wanted to tell their own stories from that. But I just, the last panel for me though is like the killer. It's so nice. And there's not a lot of Russell older artwork out there. Every time I think of his stuff, and I think of the more modern things that we get to see, I just think this piece as a full color one is awesome. And I'd be happy if they keep having one every week, because then it'd be something new for us to look at. Next up, this is some obscure Doc Ock book, but it's Staz Johnson, Al Milgram inks. I just thought it's just such a dynamic page. I mean, look at all the freaking detail packed into this. You get half of the Sinister Six in here with Spidey, but I mean, I don't know. I thought this was just a pretty darn cool page.
That's a very Staz Johnson face there on Electro too.
Yep. Very true. Yeah, I love that first panel. Then this next one, if you're in the market for a Wally Wood, this one, I mean, this is really, I mean, look at this thing, man. This is from Our Army at War from 1972. I believe it's all Wally too. And look at this.
Hope you like planes.
If you like planes, this is your page.
Wow.
Isn't that great?
Yeah.
I mean, I'd still rather have a sci-fi piece from Wally Wood if I could afford it. But shoot, this is pretty nice.
This feels like Lucas Museum material.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, and I have to say, I did get an email from Peter Rowe that he won that Krigstein piece.
Ah, nice.
This had his name all over it. So, yes, made me smile. I don't think I've seen Peter in the chat tonight, but yeah, I called it. I just picked this one for fun. There was a couple Mr. X pages in here. This is by Seth. I always thought Seth's style was just kind of fun and minimalist, and I never read this, but figured I might as well highlight an artist that I probably will never get the opportunity to highlight again.
Yeah, could be.
Then there were actually, back to Thor. Okay, I did pick another page. There's two. No, yeah. Okay, I thought there might have been three. No, there were two Walt Simonson Thor pages from the same book, 260.
Okay.
Up there right now. I bid on the other one, so I decided I would show this one. Yes, but still, I mean, it's back to what the heck, man. Somebody just like totally dumped all their good Thor art.
Wow.
Then this is Ed Rizzo, Batman 620 page. This thing is phenomenal.
Oof.
Yeah, I mean, look at that. That's just so great. I love that last panel. Shoot.
And Crocs in his pimp suit.
I know that did make me laugh. But yeah, look at that. Even that, like the silhouetting him
perfect Rizzo right there.
Right.
Him dropping into the alley too. I mean, Lord.
Yeah, this is a great page. The smile on his face.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was awesome when that we have Ed Rizzo doing one mystery sketch. He's like, I'm in. I'll do one. So we'll see. Awesome. But at least we're talking to them now. Hey, there could be a future OAX appearance if depending on things go. I mean, let's see. This one I just picked for fun. Sean Phillips, Hellblazer page. This is like pre him doing digital layouts. I just love Sean's stuff. But let me back out a little bit. I love the window frames, right? kind of carries you through all of this, and if
Highlights
it's not
both
that, it's
characters' faces. Yeah.
yep, exactly. So, I like this a lot. I just love Sean's work. And then, Guy Davis BPRD page. You can't go wrong. It's Guy Davis BPRD, and then just the line work in here is just beautiful. Haunting work. I mean, Mignola makes things look scary, but there's something in like the brush quality here that, even though he's following like guidelines and things that he probably thinks Mignola expects. I mean, he just kind of gives it its own life, and I don't know. I don't want to say it's.
Check the black quotient for sure.
Yeah, that is for sure. Hey, Heiser. All right. Well, there you go. And Southern Comic Geek says pimpin' ain't easy. All right. There you go. Heritage picks down. Now we can play Nick's thing. We're only going to have like 30 minutes, man, to talk about art. We can do it, right?
We can do it. Yep.
All
I'm
right.
motivated.
I am too. So, all right. So let's see. What's Nick Barucci bringing to the EXP tomorrow night? Here we go.
Everybody, this Friday, October 3rd, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, on the Original Art Experience. Got some really cool art. Check it out. What do we have? We have Avengers #1 Recreation. Nice. This is by Lacha after Kirby. Amazing Spider-Man #6 Recreation by Lacha. We are selling this on consignment for Bob Layton, and as usual, when we sell something on consignment for Bob Layton, we don't make any money on it. We have you send the money straight to Bob because he is family. So this ROM Space Knight #1 is this. Oh man, that is beautiful. Wow. All right, here's a unique creative team. Frank Springer and John Romita Sr. I can't even believe I'm putting this on the air. 12 panels, so beautiful. Wow. Okay, speaking of not believing I'm putting something on the air, All-Star Comics #67 with Commissioner Wayne. That's right, Commissioner Bruce Wayne of Earth 2. Still can't figure out why they call it Earth 2 since it came before us, but what are you going to do? All right, then Aztec, the Ultimate Man. Oh my God, look at how beautiful this artwork is. Some of the line work makes me think of Walt Simonson too. That is beautiful, man. All right, speaking of Bob Layton, or going back to Bob Layton, we have this multiple Spider Family, the Spider-Verse by Bob Layton, penciled, inked, and colored. Then I don't know that I've ever had any Pat Broderick Green Lantern. Maybe I have, somebody will remind me. But we have Pat Broderick Green Lantern with the gray hair at the temples, pre-Parallax. Then we have Batman and the Monster Men, #6, page 25 by the Matt Wagner. And this is so cool. All right, Space Ghost Johnny Quest #3, or Space Quest as it's well known, by Mark Bagley, pencils and inks. Then I'm going to sell these two Green Lantern pages as a pair, #16 and 17, and wait till you see the price. This is definitely to bring in new collectors. Then we're going to do the same thing with Earth 2 Annual #2, pages 15 and 16, just to bring in, it's going to be at a really blockbuster price. Forever People, excuse me, I got the hiccups, by Jim Starlin. Then we've got the cover rough by Dave Johnson for the Heroes Reborn. This is the one-shot that Dan Jurgens and Scott Hanna worked on. Then we have Spawn by Dwayne Turner and Danny Mickey. These pages are very difficult to come by. Then Amy picked 3 commissioned cover art. We got Magneto. Amy, I thought you were going to pick Cyclops. We got Spider-Man and Kingpin and Batman.
Did I forget about Cyclops?
Yeah, you forgot about Cyclops. It can't be a good show without Cyclops. So, this Friday, October 3rd.
Mean Girls Day.
Mean Girls. Oh my God, what is she going to do to me? I'm worried. All right, let's see. She's going to probably give me more art to price at the last minute. I don't know. We'll figure it out. I'm sure she'll figure it out. What do you mean we? She. All right, this Friday, October 3rd, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. And wherever you're at, wherever you're seeing this promo, please hit that thumbs up. Share. Sharing is caring. See you Friday.
There you go. Back at it Friday with Nick Barucci, who will be doing an art drop in November with us. Look at that. Steve Mussolino says he is here for the Snork top 10. Oh man. And what number one Martha? Blue lines are never mentioned. You have to ask. No, they don't say. Well, they don't mention blue lines. They say ink only. I think that's what that's the
That's what the kids say.
yeah, ink only. They don't like saying blue lines anymore. All right, quickly through the dealer stuff here. Dealers had a terrible week, $142,000 in sales. My goodness, was it a holiday? I mean, I don't know what the hell was going on. Felix sold more than a third of that. He had almost 50 grand in sales, and he's selling complete books this past week too. So I know he's got other stuff going on. Berkey had like 25, Albert 22, Anthony 21, and Comic-Con art still selling that Batman art had $18,000 in sales. Top six, what were they? We have oh yeah, so this is the Moon is Following Us, issue 10. I think this was one of the complete book sales. This one went for $23,000. Nice work there. Then what else we got? I think this was is this the other complete book? Yeah, issue 7. $15,000 on this one, or is that just the cover? No, maybe the cover only. It's Daniel Warren Johnson.
That's beautiful.
That is amazing. And then Anthony, he's in the top 3. He has a $10,000 sale here. This is Infantino and George Rousseau from Strange Adventures 205. First Dead Man book, apparently. And then Albert Moy sells a Steve Dillon page for $4,500. Man, the preacher market is going up. I mean, that is the title page from issue 52. Then we have a Joe Kubert Ghosts cover from issue 107. Anthony sold this one $4,250. You get the monkey and
horrifying.
Goodness, that is really scary. Last but not least, this is a pretty cool piece. Ian Churchill, Larry Stucker. I know. Look at this, man. $2,800 on this one, and Avengers 6 cover. The Thing battling all those. I mean, if you had the opportunity, you would have liked to add that to your collection, right?
Yeah, Cap with the Liefeld wings and stuff bothered me enough that I couldn't pull the trigger on it. I like Cap too much.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. I love Churchill's work though from that period.
Yeah.
All right, what do we got here? Auction is next. 329 to 447. So pretty much average for both eBay and Heritage. eBay had 117. Heritage was just under 200,000. And what do we got? Top 3 from eBay was this Todd McFarlane, one at auction. I think they had like 50 plus bids on it. $18,600 for it. I mean, you just never see Todd McFarlane, Spidey on eBay at all. And so I'm sure this probably surprised everybody. Then I did hear that 130 point is back and working, or it was down for like a week. I did not get a chance to check these. So this is a Popeye Daily. It says it went for $4,500. I think usually these are more like $3,500. So I'm guessing that was a make offer. Then you get this Tyler Kirkham Justice League pair of covers from issue 35 and 36, went for $4,000. Then over at Heritage, we have, and these are all verified prices, you have an Ernie Bushmiller Nancy Sunday from 1946 being the top sold item. Hard to imagine, $7,187.50. And then even more surprising is the fact that this piece sold for $7,187.50 as well. This Mike Zeck, John Beatty, Captain America annual page with Wolverine all over it. So how do they get two prices like that? I don't know. It's impossible. And then here you go. Kelly Jones. Marcus is happy to see this. John Beatty inks Batman 518. This one went for $4,750. And that's a really nice page, actually. Love those last 2 panels.
Yeah.
So there you go. That's it. But I do believe we'll have a better week next week all around for everybody. And the interesting thing was Colin reached out to me. He's like, hey, the Del Toro data wasn't in our market data. And because they send me files for that, and so I had to reach out to them, and they said, "Oh, that's right, because that's an entertainment category." Even the art was labeled entertainment, and they're very granular on what data they give me, because they'll give me artwork from like a video game auction, if there's like 3 pieces of art in it. So I'll get the 3 pieces of art. And that's what I asked them. I'm like, well, it's okay. I get why it was classified as entertainment, but there was comic art in there. And I didn't get any of it. So, so they have sent me the files since then, but yeah, I'll have to get them to fix that. So I guess the numbers would have been a lot different if we threw in all of that. But there was that $250,000 that the rights in went for pretty much the asking price.
Yeah.
Ability I can. Thanks, Marcus. I know where to look up market data. I appreciate that. All right. Well, let's just dive into our picks, man. We got I think pretty much, what do we have, 30 minutes? We got, well, a little more than 30 minutes if we want.
We'll do like a minute and a half per page if
we can do that. All right. So where are we starting out with? The Cully Hammer, and this is Hammer, and this is from The Blot. I don't believe I've ever been in the Blot's calf gallery.
I have not, to my knowledge, either, but I wish this was bigger, but it's Cully, so it's nice and open. It's clean. You can definitely, it's legible at this size. I love the sound effects on the page. I think we're both like very, very cool. They're super graphic, which I think is a great touch. His take on the beetle buggy is really fun in the top panel there. Yeah. But this really, in an odd way, kind of reminded me of like Howard Chaykin in places. And that's what really struck me about it. So I think that's kind of why I picked it, is because Cully, obviously has evolved over the years, but I don't associate him with this like more the stuff that he's doing with the graphics for sure. But it just felt a little bit different to me. And I don't know if it was the characters or, kind of how he's evolving. It's more recent, but it's a striking page. I really liked it.
I see the Chaykin, reference there for sure. But again, it's so the style totally different, but the pacing and the playing with camera angles and things. I mean, that's all Chaykin right there. I wonder if Cully had to sit through one of Howard's lectures.
Musings. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. No, but that is pretty cool. It's funny. I don't think we don't really talk about Cully's work too often, but I have always enjoyed his work quite a bit. So, I haven't seen Cully at a show in a long time. He was at Heroes though, wasn't he?
Yes,
I think he was. I don't know how I managed not to say hi to him. Oh well. But The Blot. I'll add you to my watch gallery. We'll see what else kind of stuff he posted. He's been on the site for like 14 years, and I've never been in their gallery. Now, I'm not familiar with the artist, but
I wasn't either.
I love this drawing though, man.
Yeah.
Gosh, I mean, putting all that effort into the Punisher's grimace. He still got his stogie in his mouth. I mean, but I thought this thing was beautiful.
Yeah, the source lighting is really incredible on this, and obviously there's a ton of contrast. There really isn't a ton of gradation to any of this. It's mostly black and mostly white, which makes it a striking image for sure. But I really like the take on the character. I mean, you don't ever really see the Punisher smoking a cigar, so that was kind of cool. But just stylistically, this is terrific. I mean, there's like a little Zafino in here, and there's a little bit of Michael Lark kind of in places, like the mark making especially, reminds me of a couple of those guys. But it was just an artist I wasn't familiar with, and a really cool image, so I thought it was worth mentioning.
No, I'm glad you did, because when I saw it, I thought, I don't know who this artist is, and I was glad that I didn't, without seeing the name, just looking at the art, I'm like, there's something, cool about it, and I just felt like it didn't belong to anybody whose work I've seen before. Now I'm just kind of curious, real quick. If I click their name, okay, well, there's a fair amount of stuff here, and of course, Carl's collection has something by Mirko. Okay, Carl knows. Well. All right, I'll have to look around. Yeah, I'm not familiar at all.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's let me go back over here. I didn't get my like on it.
There you go.
And there's no comments on this piece either. How's that possible? All right, we'll take care of that after the show. This is a Gary Frank, all Gary Frank, right?
Yep.
No. Okay. Yeah, you're right. It is all Gary Frank. Okay, so this is from Giger issue 14. DPS.
I think it's Geiger, like Geiger.
Geiger?
That's the radioactive.
Oh, Geiger. I'm sorry. You're right. I always called it Giger. Yeah. It's just I'm from
I
Ohio,
mean-
man. Give me a break.
Incredible fine line work. I mean, every centimeter of this has been poured over by Gary. Powerful image, like all the same. The guy with the melting face like makes you think like EC Comics. There's also kind of a war vibe to it. There's that like APC in the background. So like there's a ton of stuff happening on here, but like you really only wind up caring about that central image where she's decking the guy in the gas mask.
Right.
So like so many times you get lost in the detail and you kind of lose focus to some extent. This piece does not have that problem.
No, I love Gary's work too. This is fantastic.
I think it's the negative space because the character is like, illuminator glowing or whatever. I think it's the negative space in the character that like draws your eye right to that segment of the scene.
Yeah. Well, he's just amazing. And
He
you
is.
look at the line work, he's just using so many different ways to shade areas, the cross hatching. Yeah, this is great. And one of the few artists whose rep still sells everything on eBay and does okay at it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's more power to him. It seems so hard to do these days, but anyway, this is a great piece. Then Dan Panosian. Well, we all love Dan, right? I mean, boy, oh boy. When I saw this one, I missed it on CAF, and then it was in your picks. I just thought it was fantastic. I mean, he's made her very attractive, and in a drawing that shouldn't feel like it's super attractive. I mean, we're just looking at Uko's, girls on bikes and stuff. Though, I mean, he's doing this, without really. He's made this woman beautiful on a bike in a weird compressed space, where he's not showing all the bridge, all the bike, and it's still it's so fun to look at.
And it's not like sensational, from pose, or I should say, provocative, from the, it's not suggestive, whatever you want to say, which so much Catwoman art is. She looks very real, right? Like, her leathers, the shoulder pad, like that all looks very real. It's really grounded at the same time. It's absolutely got, Panosian style all over it. The little architectural element in the background is pretty nicely dialed in. The technical drawing on the bike is solid, but like it's still got like lively line work. And, you mentioned already, but she's very pretty.
Yeah, and it's because clearly he's handling the face very delicately, and pretty much everything else is rather coarse.
Yeah,
but yeah,
his stuff reminds me so much of Mort Drucker in places, and I actually mentioned that to him when I saw him at Heroes, and he was like, "Yeah." He's like, "I know." Like he kind of
can't. No, well, this is awesome. I mean, I love Dan's stuff, man. Now who's where are we at? We are in Myron Tay's CAF gallery. All right. That's like, congrats, Myron. That's a good one. Then Colin Wilson. I know you're a Colin Wilson fan. This is from Blueberry Note. So it's like is it a DPS, I guess, right?
I think it's a commission.
Oh, it's a commission? Okay.
That's an interior page. It feels like a commission to me.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
No, you got to be right. There's no way. And this is from 2025. All right, so it's new. Wow.
Yeah, and there isn't new Blueberry coming out to my knowledge. So
no,
at least not by Colin Wilson. So yeah, I mean, I've said this before. I think Colin Wilson is criminally ignored, underrated, unappreciated, like whatever you want to say. I mean, this is the guy that Mobius handpicked to pick up Blueberry after he left. So, what really more do you need as a, seal of approval than that? And I think, there's a lot of continuity in his style between Wilson and Mobius. And you can see that here, the faces, especially. I mean, a lot of the line weights and, the things he chooses to do as far as like the black masses that are kind of like in the crowd that's surrounding them on both sides. And then that background is like extra sparse. it's really, it's a heavily weighted image at the bottom, but it all reads perfectly, and like every little detail and characterizations there.
Yeah, those black spaces just work so well. And
Mhm.
I mean, clearly he's making some really interesting choices there, just in the way where he's placed them. Because a lot of that, it doesn't need to be. He could let the colorist. I mean, but clearly, if as a commission, he's thinking about this as a
Going up on a
finished-
wall.
Yeah, and this thing's amazing. The amount of textures, the facial expressions, the fact that so many of these characters really, have their own.
They look
distinct
utterly
look.
unique, everyone from every other one.
Yep. Yeah, I'm trying to find people that look alike, from the people on the stairs to up on the balcony. Yeah, the guys playing cards. This is fantastic.
Yeah.
Wow. That's beautiful. Now this is Fonz Van Erp. I've been in Fonz's CAF gallery before. Longtime member of CAF. Look at that, 20 years. Holy smoke. Oh man.
Still
All right.
still picking up good stuff.
Yeah. Now look at this thing, man.
Still got the watermark on it. Damn it.
Yes, please. New scan for this one. We just gave Essential props a couple pieces ago with Panosian, and now Albert's getting a little love here too. Man, but what a great page. I mean, and it's funny because outside of the first panel and the square panel in the lower left, it's a lot of action lines. It's less figurative work and just trying to tell a battle moment.
A little like short sequence, right? But like, I got to tell you, that short little sequence, when you read this comic and you were, let's see, I'm going to say I was in 7th grade when this came out, or 8th grade, when the chain splits into like little throwing stars, I was like, what? So he did it justice, right? Like, he highlighted what needed to be highlighted to blow your mind in that middle sequence.
Wow. Yeah, that's great. That is such a nice page. Yeah, we got to get that Albert Moy watermark up there.
It's right through Ghost Rider's face.
I know.
All that fine hatching.
Oh my gosh. I know everybody likes to get, sometimes there's a convenience factor in getting a scan from a dealer, and
Sure.
And maybe he doesn't have it in hand yet, but yeah, a new scan is in order for that one. Here you go, Robert Berman. Now, see, if you didn't do it, I was going to do it. There's always great pages to pick from, but this one was exceptionally beautiful.
Right.
All of the shadows, the silhouettes of the window frames. I mean, my gosh, the more I looked at this piece, I couldn't focus in on any single panel as being like better than the next, because they're all so freaking beautiful.
You literally took the words out of my mouth. Like, each panel is an absolute like stunner. And the blacks, the frame, the framing of the individual panels, the way he's staging the characters within the panels. I mean, it's essentially like pitch perfect storytelling, on top of being like, when you look at it as a whole, it looks so good. But can you scroll over to the right? Because that last panel is really what this entire sequence is all about in my mind.
Yeah.
Right there.
Unbelievable.
It's Hitchcock. It's like everything you want from like this type of suspenseful, pseudo horror / crime, book. And we talked about the window frames, during the heritage section, framing those characters' faces. He's using it like in the same way with a completely different effect here.
Yeah, definitely. But it's, man, what year is it from? I don't know, Matt. I'm sure Robert will tell us in the chat, because he's here. But yeah, agreed. This is so. I mean, it's gorgeous. I can't. I was surprised, because I look at everything that Robert posts, and everything's always really, really good. But this was, as a 2-page kind of sequence, it was. I mean, look at it. My God, the attention to detail in the architecture is so well done. I mean, just all the little details. I mean, again, you could skip a lot of this, but he's adding them in there. Sometimes the lines are complete, but man, it's a gorgeous page.
But he's doing as much for atmosphere as he is for the architecture.
Mm-hmm. Well, great piece here, Robert. Thank you for posting as much as you do, and also for the translations, because I do go through and read them from time to time, and I sincerely appreciate that. I'm sure a lot of people who go into your CAF gallery do as well.
You could, with as much of this as he owns, you could probably like kind of get a pretty good gist of the story just by going through his gallery.
Oh man! All right. So after that one, where do we go? Okay, a Mobius
Here's
piece.
The real deal.
Yep. And this is just this is an incredible page. It's an end page too, which makes it all the more fun. But I love those two panels where he's looking at the card and then it's like shows his expression. I mean, I don't know what's going on, but I just love the storytelling in this and all the freaking detail packed into it.
Well, it's like the face that launched 1,000 ships. I mean, the Meta Baron was like the breakout character from this.
Yeah.
From this kind of the Incal overall. But you get so much. Mobius sci-fi is as great as much as I love his Western stuff and like all that. Like this is really where it's at. Everything is so dialed in and just like poured over. Like look at the page where he's looking at Diffoul's card, right?
Mm-hmm.
He goes ahead and illustrates the entire like dashboard of the cockpit anyway.
Yep. Yeah, that's.
And you see, like whenever I see this stuff, I'm like, well, no wonder he designed like half of the sci-fi movies in the 90s, right?
Mm-hmm. Right. I mean, he was a visionary. I mean, just not only incredibly talented, but to be able to just create worlds like this. I mean, that's you can see why he'd be sought after.
Yeah,
for a lot of that. But yeah, brilliant piece. And it's got a few comments. Okay, Chris K. He just doesn't stop. We get a lot of the work from Mr. Wright. Regularly, yep. but he slips in stuff like this, and
just a little Incal page.
Mm-hmm. Man, he's on a tear. He could have his own art show somewhere
for sure.
If he wanted. I mean, he's got those really incredible Watchmen pages. I mean, man, Chris, that's a collection I'd like to go through someday. Let's see here. What do we got next? Oh. Alberto.
I know.
Look at that. Cassidy. I mean,
top of his game here, I think. Really and truly. I mean, I loved Planetary, as much as anybody did. And, honestly, probably my favorite book that was coming out at the time. But like he went somewhere else when he was on Captain America. I mean, the rendering, just the rendering on this page is worth talking about. But then when you get into the visual balance that he got with that, like, if you look at the whole thing, like the whole thing manages to be interesting in spite of the fact that like it really shouldn't be, right? It should just be about kind of Namor freaking out with his buddy frozen in ice there. But like the Inuits faces on the bottom, like he goes ahead and like kind of does something else ink wise to really create weight at the bottom of the piece to, like I said, keep the whole thing balanced visually. And it's such a powerful image of Namor, and like just having the shield on Cap's back in that block of ice, it tells you everything you need to know. It takes you right to that moment in comic history.
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, the figures at the bottom remind me of like Corbin and
yes.
I mean, look at that. You're right. He really just dialed it in, so well. I mean, he was in his zone, man. He was like, I mean, this is crazy. Alberto, this thing must be so amazing to see in person.
Right.
I know Mark
really get on top of something like that and like really eyeball it. Like the tones on Namor, especially, have got to be like incredible.
Yeah. Yeah. And just the way he's, got Cap encapsulated in ice. I mean, it just, the lighting, diffused through the ice. I mean, man, it's just a gorgeous piece.
Yeah.
Well, if this was a birthday present for you, Alberto, you chose wisely for that. That's great. Oh, and we do finish off with a Chuck Arnold pickup.
One of my very, very, very favorite artists. I think Kevin Nolan is probably on my Mount Rushmore. So always easy to pick something from Kevin Nolan, but extra special because you saw this in person too. This is from the Heroes auction.
Yep.
And I went back conservatively like 5 times during the day on Saturday to look at this again. And I wound up going in a different direction. I was really happy this went to Chuck because, I know he appreciates it probably as deeply or maybe even more than I do. But as far as like the art itself, I absolutely am gaga over these textures. I mean, the fact that like he adds almost an organic or like living element to Batman's cape. The rest of it like manages to stay really graphic, which I think is one of his strengths as an artist. Like he can kind of contrapost two, disparate things together and like it still looks cohesive. It's because he, without a question, absolutely knows what he's doing when he's like putting these, when he's spotting the blacks, when he's doing the line work, when he's doing the, picking the weights of everything visually. He just like, I don't know, like he can do no wrong.
Yep.
He did grab my paddle and bid on this.
He didn't sign up or register.
And then we walked right over and paid for it. He's a complete gentleman.
Yeah, Nolan does put a fire hydrant in a lot of his artworks. But no, that's awesome. Yeah, I love Kevin's stuff. And yeah, I saw this one there too. It's gorgeous. I mean, I'm glad one of you ended up with it. But yeah.
To answer Marcus's question, I had already spent way too much money and had already bought a Jesse Lonergan at the auction, so I was done.
Yep. All right, now we can go over to mine. Frazetta illustration. I mean, it's kind of funny. I guess so. There we go. I didn't even know he had an image in here that was not.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah. I mean, I just knew, and there's haunches here, Marcus, of the male variety, but it's just such a beautiful illustration, man. I just, I love this. I mean, we're so used to the paint. I mean, and this is all ink work, but it's so delicate.
It's really soft. Yeah.
What a great piece. Easy picks. Yeah, come on, Frazetta. Yeah, I could have picked James's. He had. I can't remember the page with the beautiful babe. I mean, there's a babe here. There was a babe in James. I went with the Frazetta. Come on, I try to lean into illustration a little bit.
Also, Alberto, if you don't pick the easy ones, people are like, "Oh, they posted a Frazetta and it didn't get picked." Somebody's always losing their mind.
I know. You can't win. But I'm trying to get in my IX, mindset too, because that's coming up, and I finally booked like the Airbnb. It's official. There's flights. Nice. I'm going, and yeah, I'm excited. I love that show, and I'm actually going early enough that I even emailed Patrick and Jeannie. I'm like, I'm there all day Wednesday if you need help. I mean, I've never been there early enough to actually do anything for them other than just walk around and talk to people. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. And here's the image that sparked a question or two, but this is just freaking awesome, isn't it? I mean,
yeah,
I love Mignola's stuff, and yeah, I know I pick easy stuff. It is true. I don't mind, but this one was just I don't know. I just maybe it's a tadpole. I don't know what part of this thing makes it for me, but I just love the way he like layers in just different elements from the book. Things that are that he makes like something just like it's presented in almost like a movie poster format that just works, and he does it all the time.
He's gotten so good at like you can really get the gist of like every kind of issue that's in the trade paperback by looking at these covers.
Mm-hmm. Right, you see snakes, tentacles. There's religious overtones. There's Abe.
Yeah.
I mean, all that. You just kind of know. You get a feel for what the story is going to be about, and even though stuff like this shouldn't really convey a whole lot, it's like I've seen an Avengers movie poster, and it's just all the actors' faces and stuff.
Right.
But anyways, this is, and I know it's an easy pick. Didn't I say that, Marcus? I did. And there was actually another easy pick. There was that other Mignola that was from no way the guy has it in hand yet. That from the Del Toro auction.
Yeah, I
was
saw it.
already. I saw that one too, and I thought, but I actually kind of like this one. I mean, the other one is kind of more historic, clearly.
Yeah.
From the period, but I don't know. I
it's
like
not
it.
as good though. You're right.
Yeah, the figures are small.
It's the lighting on that piece, like it's too two-tone.
Still, I mean, historic and very valuable because
sure.
but yeah, just different. But yeah, there was actually a lot of good stuff posted to the CAF this past week. This one I had to pick because it's Hubert, it's Hawkman, and it's a title page, and this is in Patrick Kahanick's collection. Again, a guy who buys a lot of Frazettas, also enjoys this era of comics as well. But I mean, this thing's beautiful.
Yeah,
man.
I mean, I would be hard pressed, like if you went through if there was an artist edition of this, every single page you would go, ooh, I'd like to have that. Ooh, I'd like to have that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there needs to be. Son of a gun.
A lot of this, surprisingly, a lot of this stuff is still around.
Yeah.
I mean, we see Kubert Hawkman pages somewhat regularly, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's just CAF.
Right. It is pre-Marvel. That's right, Marcus. Yeah, I mean, it's just great stuff. I love this. No, I do, Antoine. I have one that is set aside for me.
I think if you don't want a Kubert Hawkman, I think you have mixed up priorities.
Yeah, no, exactly. Everyone needs one. And again, it's back to, we all could buy war pages from Joe Kubert anytime, and for less than a couple thousand, and you can say you have a great example. But yeah, I just, no, don't want it. I want to, this is what I want.
Yeah, Hawkman, Viking Prince, like this, this era is really, it's special.
Mm-hmm. Well, congrats to Patrick for getting this one. Oh yeah, I mean, I pick a lot of Gene Colan stuff. This one's just fun because it's like I don't know, it's just Gene doing Gene stuff. I mean, Dracula facing one way, another way, and then you get this little, I don't even know what the hell was going on. I should have read the page ahead of it, but it is an end page, and it's Gene.
Yeah,
and I love him. Dracula looks like a mountain, practically, the way he's drawn him with his cape.
Kind of does, yeah. It's really
weird.
just shapes.
Mm-hmm. And whose CAF gallery was this? Oh, you know what? I also picked this one because I wanted to say Judas Benedict Hell. Because that's the owner of that one. Next up, this is in is it Jason's CAF gallery, right? Yeah, Jason Hussar. I just thought this was awesome. I love just the blue tone. It works so well in this piece.
Mm-hmm.
And
Brooding Fury is always cool.
Yep, exactly. And let's see, I didn't get a like on it though, but I liked a lot of stuff a lot. I mean,
me too.
He's a really good painter, but he's just got a great sense of design. I mean, sometimes there's some artists whose work I don't appreciate as much that are good painters that just don't. I don't know. I could see them doing covers. I couldn't see them doing interiors. I see this, and I really enjoy the fact that he's a very talented storyteller too.
And there isn't a ton of it.
No.
Blue you can't Marvel. Like pump these out.
Yeah. No, not at all. So Jason, good pick. Nice victory there. And then this piece, I think we talked about this one with Sarah Jane. I think it was in one of the maybe the last illustration auctions from Heritage, and it was a striking image. And I think there was a couple other pieces by the same artist. It was Valigursky. Yeah, I mean, and I didn't know Valigursky at the time. I remember Sarah Jane was schooling me on it, but I mean, because there were other pieces by this artist in that auction, and I did do some research. I mean, being just a great designer. The colors are very striking. You know, the blues with against the red versus the the orange here. I think it's great. This is in Glenn Crane's Calf Gallery. Glenn always, try as I might, I can't get Glenn to come on and do an interview. He was on a group show we did once, but he won't do a solo one with me. But I try every year. I do. When I'm in his Calf Gallery, it's like every 12 months. I'm like, you ready yet? Yeah. And that's okay.
It's really clever to have like the triad here, where it's like, but they're off tonally, right? Like the orange is not strictly orange; it's on the yellow brown side, and then the blue is washed out, so you don't get like a blue, but then the red is like an absolutely like cardinal red.
Yep, everybody's commenting on the quicksand. Yeah, no, I love this piece. I mean, it's just the colors are just so striking. It's reminiscent of some of the science fiction covers that we got to see at OAX from Marcus Rohrwild's collection, and a lot of people bought. I mean, these are fun. I mean, they're part of our pulp history, I guess. But
and
anyway.
You know what? He doesn't go nuts with the Starfield.
No, you're right. And most artists probably would have.
To his credit.
Yeah. No, this is a great one. I'm glad Glenn ended up with this one. This one I picked this one. It's in a #1 Marvel fans Calf Gallery. We know the era that that Tom loves, and I just thought this was a great page. And it's funny, as great as this page, there's actually a really great Ghost Rider page at the current Heritage auction too. But this one is fantastic. I love the panel where he breaks free of all the debris on top of him. I mean, that just seals it for me. But and it is a skull. I think I got that before Marcus would have thrown something in there. But hey, Glenn, I'm telling you, man, one of these days we're gonna do an interview. I love you have one of the most interesting paths as a collector. You've had your own Heritage signature auction. Who can say that?
And then still at it,
and still be doing collecting the pieces like that you have. I mean, my goodness, Glenn. I mean, it's unbelievable. At any rate, I love your taste in art, as I do love #1 Marvel fans' taste in art too. And we know, again, this is just a great Ghost Rider page, and
100%.
I love it, definitely love it. And Perlin's always fun.
Yeah.
So, what do we got next? Oh, this Kirby. I mean, you can pick Kirby all day long. This is a Kazar page. Just looking at it, I mean, I don't know, probably because it's Marvel or something, but I love those first 3 panels with Zabu and just going in and zooming in on his face like that. And then there's just something about this page that, and maybe it's because I'm not okay, it's Kazar, it's not commanding, right? So
right. Well,
I think I have a different feeling for the Marvel work by Kirby. But I just love this page, and it was something about the first 3 panels, and the other ones are okay, but Alberto, that's not true.
Who inked this?
Sam Granger.
See, that right there is noteworthy.
Yeah, that's interesting. But there's something about the line quality. I mean, you can think of Royer. Royer, everybody talks about how he follows, Kirby well. Yeah. Right. But I look at this and I mean, there's something about the line quality work here. A little extra detail maybe that Sam's adding to some of the areas. I mean, especially in the face here. I mean, look at that. I mean, there's way more detail than you'd probably get from Royer there. And then I don't know. I mean, gosh, while I'm looking at it, I like this page a lot.
Yeah, it's a great page.
Man, Paul Roach. I'll have to make a note of that. I don't think I'm following his Calf Gallery, but oh, and this was that would have been a fun. It had Craven in this issue too. That would have been a good one. All right, a couple more pieces here. Paul Pelletier. I mean, this is a powerful Superman image,
God, yeah.
and I
Ooh.
I mean, isn't that great? I mean,
Yeah.
it's so well done. I mean, and it's changing from Clark Kent. You get the S, and then just him flying. I mean, I'd put this image up against anybody who's drawn, Superman in that era, and it's
Absolutely.
as good as a John Byrne Superman drawing. I mean, this is stunning, and I wish it was a bigger scan. It is smaller.
He's on the hulky side too, which I like. Like I don't know. I prefer to think of Superman as like visibly larger than most people, and like this Superman, that's a big boy.
Exactly. I mean, you could like the way Gary Frank drew him more like Christopher Reeve and all that. But yeah, Superman's powerful, and that's really what you get here. But having getting the transformation part of it as well, cityscape.
Cool.
I think it's a great piece. Number one Marvel fan says it's perfect too.
It pretty much is. I mean, what else do you want?
Nothing else. Then
I was gonna pick this one.
I'm surprised that you didn't. I didn't think
it. Very, very close to it. Yeah.
Yeah, De Tomaso. I thought for sure this was not going to be on the board when I got to do my picks, and but there it was. So I mean, it's in Louis Lonzo's calf gallery. Just such. I mean, the colors on this thing are beautiful. I love the fact that we got Black Panthers that are that match the color tone of Black Panther's costume. It's a beautiful composition. And
the musculature on the cats is like really incredible.
Yeah, no, this he is so talented. I don't think there's a lot of his work on calf yet, but hopefully that will change, because I mean, yeah, I think this is fantastic. The pose is great. Yeah, I don't even know what more to say about it.
The palette is so lifelike, right? I mean,
Mm-hmm.
Instantly, like, where you are, and that, like, one, you're in the jungle, but two, I mean, it's very, I don't want to say soothing, but it's got like the blue and the green has an organic feel to it that is like everything in this image is oddly kind of calm. And I think the blue and the green kind of back that up.
There you go. Vintage Tarzan. Yeah, Robert. I mean, I was looking at it and feeling like, okay, I know this pose. You're right. It is that Tarzan image, but who would be the artist on that? Is that I'm Hal Foster. Thank you. Yes. And here Alberto says he just picked up a cap cover by Fabrizio. Is it in your calf gallery yet? I don't remember seeing that. DeTulio's getting it for you at New York Comic Con. Yeah, I know Matt has been a fan of his work for a long time too. But yeah, I think this is beautiful. You're right. The color palette in the back, that kind of lime green with the vibrant blue, cerulean blue, just work with this. Yeah, it's amazing. Okay, DeTulio ships for free. There you go.
You heard it here first.
Yes, indeed. Oh man, yeah, we had fun on that sale last night with Matt too. It went. We had no idea what would happen trying to sell a complete book. And
Chuck and I talked to him about it for quite a while at Heroes, because at the time he was thinking like, how am I going to do it, and like, what's the best platform or format or like whatever. So I was really pleased when you guys said you were going to do a drop like that. So I'm watching it on the rewind. I started it today, but like I said, I've been really slammed all week. It was basically work all day, come home, make dinner, play with the dog, work a little more, go to bed.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Yeah, weeks like that are bad, but
taste for art.
Yeah, that's true. So true. But yeah, you'll enjoy watching it. It flowed really quickly. I mean, we were done. We could have really been done within an hour and 15 minutes. That sold more than half of the pieces, and you could tell the audience was really happy. I mean, there was the art was great to look at, and just having Simone stay up late to just be with us to start the show was fun to have him in there. Yeah, he's starting to look kind of mature. Like the last couple times, when we saw him at OAX last, I still felt he had like that, that boyish feel to him. But when I was talking to him, I'm like, I'm talking to a man now. Holy crap, he's like matured in like 6 months time. But I mean, maybe working with Jeff Loeb does that for you. I don't know, but
Maybe those deadlines do that to
those
you.
deadlines too. Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh man, but yeah, that was definitely fun. Hopefully, we get to do something like that again, somewhere down the road. Because I mean, who else would have the nerve to try it and then have it work out? So
Yeah.
anyway, well, Chris, I think we both deserve a beer and,
Amen, brother.
and go to bed. But listen, look forward to doing this again next week. Hopefully, we won't be both as tired and harried as we are.
I'll
But
do
it's
my
good
best.
to see your. It's great to see your smile back. There were like 3 consecutive weeks we couldn't see it. Now it's there.
I was when I would laugh, I'd have to cover my mouth. Yeah.
Exactly. All right, man.
All right.
Take it easy. Have a great weekend.
You too, buddy. Good night, guys.
Thanks. All right, everybody. So there we go. Episode 260 is now in the books, and I appreciate everybody hanging out with us. Trying to go through 4 artists at the beginning of the show to get all the pre-OAX out there. I wish I had more time to talk with all of them, especially Mahfoud. That was fun. I could see, you could talk with him probably for 2 hours and still not feel like you probably covered everything you needed to. But congrats to him for the Kickstarter. It's a great start for him, and clearly, he's touched on the right chord, the right character, and I haven't supported it yet, but I will, because I want to see that story as well. And I saw everybody saying we should do something with Jim sometime. I agree. I mean, I love his work. I don't know. I've never been on his website, so I'm not even sure where he sells his artwork. But we should do something with him sometime, without question. Alberto says he gets okay. Good for you, Alberto. Thank you. Alberto picked up sketch cards from all 4 artists tonight, and I did see plenty of pre-OAX commissions come into my email, but there can always be more. But we'll send out a mailing reminding everybody of everyone who started their pre-OAX this week, and I'll make sure I get that sent out tomorrow. But thanks for supporting it as always. I can guarantee you I think we probably have 1 or 2 pre-OAX announcements next week, but it is New York Comic Con. So, but either way, I guarantee you we will work it out. And as I said, there is a show next Saturday where Mike McCone, and we haven't lined up the other artists, but we do expect to have a 9 p.m. show on that Saturday of New York Comic Con, where we will be doing some pre-OAX announcements for that too. So pay attention to your email, and I will probably get most of next week queued up and scheduled on YouTube tomorrow. So you'll have that to look forward to. Other than that, enjoy the rest of your evening, and don't forget, 2 p.m. on Saturday, I'll have Sean Crystal on, and we will be selling some artwork and announcing his pre-OAX opportunities as well. So have a wonderful evening, everybody, and I'll see you in a couple of days.